Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful night. Expecting to see a lot of Toy Toy, maybe some Tanyao in the forecast. Whatever it is, hopefully it will be exciting Mahjong. I am Tucker, aka Ennui. Our broadcast director tonight is Nathaniel, and I am joined by Michael. How are you doing, Michael?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty chill. Very ready for more mahjong. I feel like it's been a while since I
Yeah.
really watched any mahjong. Got pretty tilted after my personal games and had to take a break for a little
It
bit.
it it does happen.
But now I'm back and ready to dive back into the misery and soul crushing pain that is mahjong. Although
Oh, yeah.
commentating I have found is a lot more fun.
It is more fun. My own 20 games are now over, so my fate is not in my own hands anymore. So,
It it's how do you is that a good feeling for you or a bad
uh,
feeling? Like
it's an uncertain feeling.
a questioning feeling. Well, all of these players' fate is very much still in their hands, though. We will be watching our first dealer here will be John, Ron John A. And John is in 10th. So since 8 people will be moving from B1 into A2, John is just outside of the promotion range right now. But with so many spots being able to promote, it will not take much for John to get in. So let's see how these games go. And right off the bat, I mean, John has started with a beautiful hand here. Has two of the Dora 6 Mon inside of that beautiful Nakabukure shape, that 5667. And then, of course, great shapes in both the Pinzu and the Sozu. Would like to get rid of that 1-2 Pinchon at some point. Ooh.
Not not too much going on in the other player's hands yet, but Aaron does pick up a second Huts. Um, might end up calling that to try to make use of that Dora.
Oh yeah, that always makes it a little bit easier. And now we have a very nice San Minchan shape that includes a pair as well. So Aaron's hand is looking to be lightning fast. Oh, and now it's Ishan 10, according
Already.
to what he discards. Yeah, taking just the nice efficient path, and oh, John has drawn into the Nakabukure
Eat.
as an incredibly wide Ishan 10, and actually
Already a Ricci across the table.
got the third Hatsu. You're right. Wow, that's fantastic. Just waiting on these 7 mon. That would be Hatsu, Dora 1 plus Ricci. So a 3 Han hand for Aaron, unless more Uma is able to come into play. John went ahead and discarded that 9 mon. The 6 peen and the 9 peen could be a little bit more dangerous, but
Uh,
oh, is going
oh,
Dama. Ipeiko, Penfu, Dora 2. This
that's
is 4 Han.
really
Sumo.
strong hand. Oh, already sumo.
Yeah, and that's a Mongon. It will only be a Mongon since there was no Ricci, but you are not going to complain about a 12,000 point win and the bonus Ricci stick. Oh, and look, and immediately is just dealt the most beautiful little
Beautiful.
Honitsu hand. Of course, you don't have to go for a Honitsu with this hand. You could
Home.
keep that very nice 7-8 peen shape. But wow, if you keep drawing Monzu, I mean, this could even become Chinitsu.
Yeah, at least strong Itsu chance. Though Daniel's hand on the left looks pretty fast. Especially now with that 6 mon pickup.
Yeah, and with another East,
Home.
you can still call that East and discard the 5 peen. Yep. So is Ishanten now.
Already. Oh yeah, Ishan.
There are two of the Dora 9 so in Tristan's hand off to the right, but no complete shapes for Tristan. Is closer to Chitoy than anything else. And wow, there's another Monzu for John. John is actually Tenpai waiting on.
Sumo.
There it is. That's Sumo. That will be just Pinfu and Sumo. John not feeling the need to throw out any Ricci sticks. And I think if you draw another Monzu, you probably make that shift towards either Itsu or full flush. And that might be why John decided to go Dama on that last hand.
Yeah, I definitely understand that play. If there's those upgrade paths are available to you.
And as it is mentioned in the Twitch chat, Korak is here to complain about the Damas, but John is living large. I mean, once again, Delt 3 Easts is starting off with
Yeah,
the double
this is
tone.
perfect double tone
Wait, that's
hand.
Dora. That's
Oh, I
three
don't.
Easts and
Oh,
three
geez.
Dora. Because the North is the indicator, so we
Yeah,
have Ishanten for an absolute monster.
another incoming dealer Mongon here,
Well,
most
this
likely.
time, if John is able to get to Tempai closed, I wonder if we see a Ricci stick come out because the Ricci stick would push us up to a guaranteed Hanuman.
Hanuman, right.
And
I th
piling,
I think I
oh,
would go for it.
yeah, well, you're gonna have to race everyone else at the table because yours is not the only good hand by any means. I mean, look across. Aaron's probably
Boom.
gonna call this Hatsu. Yep,
Yeah,
has a very nice
y
two Shanten.
yeah. That's a good Tushan.
リーチ
And already a Ricci on the right.
Yeah, waiting on the 3 Mon, so that is Ricci Ipeco. That that hand is going to end up
ツモ
being oh
Oh,
well, Hatsumo. Wow.
Ipatsumo. Wow.
I mean, so that is Ricci Ipatsu Ipeco Sumo. And the Ricci transforms that pretty cheap hand into an instant Mongon. And well, where it looked like John was perhaps going to get above 60K in East 1, that has already been cut off
Yeah,
by
not
Tristan
not
here.
quite. I think if you're the other two players at the table here, you're just wondering when you're gonna get a turn to do anything here. But
Yeah, well, and it's probably not going to be this hand. I mean, look what Tristan has again. This is already. I mean, this is already Ishanten. Draw the 8 peen, and then you
yeah,
have
yep,
Ricci Penfu Dora 1 with the
that's right.
Forso in hand. Yes, this is becoming an even nicer Ishanten, but is anybody going to be able to race this? Ooh, don't want to call that.
There's a possibility for a Sanshoku in Aaron's hand, a 789, but again, he's gonna have to get it fast.
And unfortunately, that's a pretty slow Sanshoku, especially since it relies on that 8-9 Pinchon in the Monzu,
Right.
is probably weighing those decisions right now. Yeah, is gonna keep that option alive by tossing back the 5 Mon, not keeping the 4-5 Rionmin. And ooh, there. Okay, no, that was Dora last hand. The only other Dora that we see so far is across the way in Daniel's hand. Oh, this is Tempai for Tristan.
リーチ
Call Ricci waiting
Yep.
on the 8 peen. So Ricci Dora 1 for Tristan. We see one 8 peen in hand so far, and
That
that is in Daniel's hand across the table.
Yeah, and that probably won't come out soon, but may eventually if it doesn't get connected to anything.
Daniel does have a Dora, so there are paths where Daniel's able to make his hand a little bit more valuable and might be willing to chase a dealer Ricci. But we'll
Picks
see.
up another Hots, but they already 2 cut, so
Oh, you're right. I didn't notice that first Hatsu in the discard, so that is going to make things a little bit more difficult for Daniel. Now the 2 peen is safe, so Daniel just kind of dancing around things. It looks like John's hand has been able to develop even as he throws away save tiles. Is still is 2 away from Tempai.
another Dora for Daniel. That's I don't know
ツモ
how you work that hand now. Oh, Sumo. Okay.
Tristan is going to get the sumo, so with any Ura, no Ura, so just 6,000, but that is enough to barely put Tristan above John. And we have another fast dealer hand here as Tristan's dealt a pair of Tune.
Dude with Dora 1 already. Yeah.
ポン
I don't see another hand here that can easily outspeed that.
Yeah, the 8-mon is kind of an awkward Dora for people right now. John can incorporate it very easily, but Daniel across the way is in the same situation that Tristan is, where
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Dora is kind of stuck to the 9. Although Tristan did pull in a 6-mon, so there's a little bit more flexibility in Tristan's hand now.
Art decides it's not worth keeping. Looks committed to the penchant.
Yeah, and might as well. If you're gonna keep the 8-mon in there, I guess there's not really a difference between having the 6-mon and the 9. I never know what to do with this shape that Tristan has in the Pinzu. The 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Well, now you've got a Nakabukure, so maybe that just means you can get rid of the 2P and the 8P. But I never know what to do with that shape. Like, it feels like it could become Itsu or something, but if it does
Yeet.
become Itsu, you're probably going to end up with a bad weight. Oh, but John on the left getting Tempai just as Tristan draws a second Dora. That is waiting on the 4-peen and 7-peen. There's no Dora,
Sumo.
and it's not Pinfu,
Uh,
but a Potsumo again!
I get another one.
That every single hand has been a sumo so far at this table, and we've had a couple of
That's
dealer
that's
repeats.
wild.
Only Tristan and John have been able to pull anything in, and if you're Aaron and Daniel right now, you're still not incredibly far from 30K, but this
You're a
has been
lot
a
yeah,
you're
you're a lot
still not
farther than you wanna
happy.
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not.
Oh, that
Well,
8 so though is
there's a
great.
nice fill.
So Ishan 10 now for Aaron. Although the hand does not currently have any value, could incorporate a 1-peen Dora. Meanwhile, on the right,
Hump.
Daniel's hand looks like yes, it could speed up very quickly. That hand could still become Toy Toy, according to if another 3-mon or 4-mon is drawn, according to the order that the hand improves in. It could just be East.
It's looking like it's just gonna end up east, which is not, I think, the hand he probably wanted, and 2 Dora are already discarded, so I think it's gonna be hard for him to pick up more value there.
Although with 2 Dora already
リーチ
discarded, oh, this is Tempai for Tristan on the left, waiting on the 3-mon and 6-mon. This is Richi Tanyao. No Pinfu because of the Anko of 6-peen. Oh, and there's a deal in tile, but it works in John's hand.
And Daniel goes to a Shabo wait on 1 so 7 mon. Does the
Ooh,
1
this is
so come out? No, it doesn't.
Oh, do you call Khan with the 2? The 2-peen doesn't look especially safe. That's an interesting situation where you feel like, well, maybe I call Khan just so I don't have to discard this thing and hope I don't give the Ricci player
I
too
guess
much
it
more
didn't
value.
look dangerous enough.
It does look like Daniel's perfectly willing to push this. The seven so I guess was already confirmed.
スモ
Oh, but there's the sumo. So this is going to be
Another
Ricci
sumo.
Tanyao sumo. No Ura. So just 5,000 for Tristan there, collecting the Ricci stick
Just
back.
Tristan and John just running the table right now.
And still all sumos, even with players being willing to push. Tristan and John just drawing all of their tiles themselves. Although this could be Daniel's first winning hand. It is absolutely gorgeous. A very nice 2
コン
Shanten. Keeping that 1-3 so Kanchan around for now. Maybe getting Itsu in the Sozu, but you feel like this is the sort of hand that is almost certainly going to end up being Pinfu. And there's the 4 so, but is going to discard the 1 so. Not thinking about Itsu. There are other paths to value here. Oh, and that is not Tempai. We don't have a
No,
head.
what block do you get rid of? Okay.
Preserving the complex shape in Sozu. Around the table though, Tristan has already called the Hatsu, has the Dora 5-peen in hand, but is not especially close to Tempai. So even though Tristan has opened, Daniel can pretty easily catch up.
Yeah.
It's John on the right who might be the closest here. Is Ishanten as well. Well, is not Ishanten. No, that's Ishanten. I don't know why the 9 so was screwing me up there, but
Yeah, it is.
likely gonna be Pinfu.
Each.
But Aaron gets the Tenpai first, despite everybody else hanging around, and that is
Right?
Chitoy.
Chitoy Tenpai.
Chitoy only. Richi Chitoy waiting on the 8 pin. Hoping for that Sumo Ura 2 to
Each.
get to the Hanuman. And now we
there it
have the
goes.
the 8 pin was the tile Daniel had to toss away.
No Uda. So
Oh,
just
and the first deal in, unfortunately, coming from Daniel there. Not enough to get Tristan above John, but they are within 800 of each other as we go into South 1. Daniel and Aaron are going to need to mount comebacks. Luckily, they're the third and fourth dealers, so they have time to make things happen.
okay. So Daniel just picked up a second Hatsu, which means he can start calling if he wants to just shut down this deal.
Well, now has 5 pairs. Could even, yep. It looks like a hard commit to either Chitoy or Toy Toy. With 5 pairs and no triples yet, very well may be another Chitoy shot here.
Potential Ipeco shape over there for Aaron.
Oh wow, that could even become Junchan.
Each.
Oh, no,
But is not. Is
is
going
not.
is going to take the 6-9 weight. So this is Richi Pinfu. And that is all. Oh, and it's now that there is a Richi to chase, Daniel is doing the Toy Toy Dash.
Is that the official name?
It's the
Don't-
Oh,
name.
and the 9 comes out.
John now dealing in. So this is going to put Tristan in first, and that 3,900 points, 4,900 with the Richi stick, is going to help Aaron out considerably. Getting a Mongon, all you need is a Mongon to get over 30k. So you feel a lot better about 24,000 than you did about 19.
But this hand is not looking spectacular for Aaron. So
But Tristan is going to make this hand work. Has already called the Souths, has 2 of the Dora East, could call them if he wants, or could leave them as the pair in hand.
That's scary.
Oh, and now has enough for Yanmen to not need that 8-9 pinch
Does
on
not.
it.
Yeah, just is gonna get rid of that.
And around the table, we don't see any more of the Dora. Although Aaron's hand has started progressing pretty quickly, could get an Itsu in the Pinzu.
Yeah, just needs 669 for that.
Oh, and a possible 2-3-4 Sanshoku could develop for Daniel if Daniel's trying to greed for value. Tristan not taking the pawn of Easts. Wants to make sure that there is still a pair in hand. Probably does not want to end up on a Tonki weight. Will probably now, getting rid of the 8-9 Pinchon. So
think
Tristan now Ishanten.
does Aaron cut the 2 pin and go for the 5-6-7 Sanshoku here?
It certainly looks like he's thinking about it. Well, because you could even still get the 5-6-7 Sanshoku and Tanya, since you can now get rid of that 1 pin and still have all your shapes.
Yep.
We have Tenpai now for Tristan.
Well.
2 pin and 5 pin. That would be 3 Han for dealer. But with the Richi for Daniel is a 1 so, 2 so, 4 so weight. And that is Richi. Could get Tanya on winning with either the 2 so or the 4 so. And now we have Tenpai for Aaron, who is waiting on the 6 pin for Tanya Sanshoku. I mean, look at John's hand. John's entire hand is lit up right now.
It is.
The one pin feels like a good discard.
Yeah, it does. But that 6 pin is essentially not going to happen. So I think it's down to
Oh, another East! It's safe to toss. You could have
it
greeted
is.
and taken the dealer Mongon, discarding a 3-peen or 4-peen, but with the East being 100% safe, and especially since Tristan is currently in first. The 6 mana is Nakasuji to basically everybody.
No.
This 5-peen deals in if it comes out of Aaron's hand, but
Oh,
tosses the 2-peen and deals in
ouch.
5,800 for dealer. And right after Aaron had gotten himself to within striking distance of 30k, Tristan brings him right back down.
Yeah, that was a tough defensive situation to be put in.
Yeah, and well, especially since you still want to push your hand since you are so far behind. John though did a very good job of not dealing in despite over half of his tiles being red there. Tristan can accept the Dora Forso, but no completed shapes yet. I feel like this is the first 3 Shanten dealer hand we've seen the entire Hanchan. Do you think Aaron's gonna push for Honitsu
Likely
here?
Honitsu push from Aaron.
It's already called the tune. It is in the Dora suit, which always makes it a little bit easier. We now have Ishanten for Chi-Toy for Tristan. Ooh, but drawing that Formon, you still have so many simple tiles. And you have good shapes. This does not need to be Chi-Toy. And it doesn't need to be Toy Toy either. You don't expect to be able to call these shapes out with the 5-peen, 5-so, or 6-so.
Yeah, but the Suanko dream.
The Suanko dream.
No, just Toy Toy now.
Yeah, just Toy Toy, or even just Tanyao. Tristan doesn't have to get a lot of value, is in second in B1, so does not need points really overall, is over 100 points away from falling out of the promotion zone. You'd probably take this Chi, just accept your Tenpai. But nope,
Nope.
we're going to go for value here, which is fine.
Home.
And there's the South call finally for Aaron.
That's Tenpai 6-9.
It is not the Honitsu, but
No.
has 3 Han since they are in the South seat. Perfectly reasonable to take that hand. And you can even still make it a Mongon by pulling in the Forso. And is going to get the Sumo. What? Oh, but
Nope.
okay.
Yep.
If you're not going to take the Sumo, I wonder why you don't just discard the 2-peen earlier.
Yeah.
Chi.
All right, now it's going to have a Tonki on the 7-so.
Beach.
I wonder why the reconsider.
Oh, and now we have the complex pair weight for John. What would you call it? A pin key to pin Chan Tonki, winning on the 7-so or 8-so.
Yeah.
That is Ricci only. No Dora, no Pinfu, no Junchan. Oh, but this 7-so would deal in. It's a better weight. Okay, no, keeps the Dora. Is not, well, that would have been Furitin had the 4-so been kept. So is sticking to this 7-so Tonki.
Right.
And now we have Tenpai across the table for Daniel, who immediately gets it. The turn Daniel entered Tenpai for Tanyao only, the 5-peen comes out of Tristan's hand. And now we are going to see whether Aaron and Daniel can mount comebacks during their dealer turns. Aaron has a good shot at a Sozu Itsu here. Already Ishanten.
Yeah, wow.
What would we draw? What would we draw here? That So shape's kind of awkward. Could get a 6-7-8 Sanshoku. This might actually not be Ishanten. I don't know how I feel about it. Not fast enough to read that one.
Yeah, it decides to not go for Itsu here, and
That's
probably is aiming more for the Sanshoku.
Yeah, the Sanshoku is probably a little bit easier to get alongside Penfu.
And is keeping the 5, 6, 7, 8 so that whether he draws a 5 or an 8 pin.
Oh yes, that's a very good point. Very clever. Can go for either a 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku or a 6, 7, 8. But around the table with the Hatsu being Dora, it came out fairly early from John's hand, and Daniel discarded it subsequently. So Dora not going to be a big factor in this hand. That John's got some
John,
gorgeous shapes across the table.
yes, that hand is coming together quite nicely.
Aaron trying to make a decision here, committing to the 6, 7, 8. With
Could
enough
also
draws, John could end up at Rian Peiko. Just keeps drawing into that 3, 4, 5 Manzu shape. Aaron taking the most efficient Ishanten.
yeah, just trying to keep the 6, 7, 8 as a possibility.
Tristan still 2 away. Unfortunately has a few less efficient shapes than other people at the table, although that is an upgrade to the Sozu shape, but elects to get rid of the 1 pin. This
And
is Tenpai
that's
now for
Senpai, so
Aaron.
Yeet.
that's gonna be a Ricci.
This is Ricci Penfu. On the 8 pin, this is also Sanshoku, and that is also Tenpai for Daniel, who could win on the 2 mon or 5 mon. That is also
Boom.
Penfu. But no Ricci, and immediately gets it.
Oh, I don't. Maybe
That
I'm just
hand still could have upgraded to Itsu. It would have taken a couple draws, but with
sure.
Daniel being so far behind, I think Daniel was hesitant to call Ricci on just the Penfu in the hopes that the Itsu would come in
Yeah,
with
that
the
I think
team.
that's right.
And that 5M did come out. That 5 mon came out because it was Genbutsu to the Ricci. So a bit of a trap there. Daniel putting together this could be quite the interesting hand. Could be a Honitsu. If you're able to draw more Sozu, could be.
Yeah, I think if you draw even one more Sozu, you just commit.
You want to be careful though. If you look on the left, Aaron has almost every single Dora 7 so. So if Daniel does elect to push for a Honitsu, might get pretty locked up by all of the tiles already being in Aaron's hand. Not that Daniel would have
Boom.
any way to know that.
Right, of course.
And we do have the pawn from Tristan, who is
Yeet.
Tenpai waiting on the Dora 7 so. And now we have the Ricci waiting on the 3 pin.
3 pin.
So this is Ricci Dora
Boom.
3. If you're able to sumo and get one Ura, that's still not quite enough to get you over 30k, but it would secure you a pretty good second.
All right, so we see a commit to the Honitsu, but does not know if these Manzu tiles are safe yet.
Well, if you're Daniel, you can't lose this hand, really. You assume that Aaron has called Ricci on a hand that will get them above you anyway.
And just keeps picking up these dangerous tiles.
Exhaustive would be a perfectly fine result for Daniel, as long as he is able to reach Tenpai. So that's probably why we see a little bit of hesitance here. Oh,
Boom.
will Tristan keep the
It
Tenpai?
does.
Done!
There it is.
So that's going to drop Tristan to second. That's not going to be enough to bring Aaron above 30k, but
But
oh
you only
no, Tristan didn't fall below John there. Still 3,000 up. So that's Tristan and John, I think, won about 95% of the hands in that game. But with Aaron's final push there at the end, is able to make this a reasonable third place. Tristan in first got a plus 24.2, increasing his hold on the top of the division here, only behind Crow. John got a plus 11.6, not enough to get John into that bottom A1 promotion seat, but there's
Mm.
still a whole nother 2 weeks worth of games to play,
Yeah, I mean
including the three games here.
that's still progress. And if you are, yeah, I mean, with how that game went, only taking a -10 is damage control for Aaron. So
Oh, yes, definitely. And Daniel taking the minus 26 dropped Daniel below Aaron in the overall standings, actually. So that was a flip there. And if you're John, even though you only got 11.6, that's fantastic because the people you're taking from, every single one of them is above you. So if you're able to
right.
drop Aaron and Daniel down, you can lower the threshold required to get into A2 next season. And we have here their overall stats, and we saw some of that 25.9% win rate from Tristan. What's John's win rate? Just out of curiosity. 20.5. So that's a pretty normal win rate. As we see, it's not colored in any way.
Mhm.
20.5 is actually pretty low compared to the rest of B1. But that will likely go up after the games from today are factored in. While the stats on the left update after every game, the stats on the right only update once a day.
All right. So the second Hanchan coming up soon. Just a moment.
Yeah, they took about 2 breaths before starting this game, which God, I'm still just so impressed by. Anytime people are able to jump right into their second and third and fourth Hanchans, it it just really blows me away because I always need a break, 100% of the time,
Yeah, I
always.
think every single time I've requested a 2 or 3 minute breather.
But I mean, this game should be starting any second now. Just kind of the awkward not knowing where in the sec. We know it was 8:42, so we're at the right minute. But where did the seconds line up? Despite all of the fireworks in that game, the spread was pretty tight still. Like that was not really an explosive
It
first
it
or a
was not a
doable
complete
lap.
blowout as much as it looked like it was gonna be at the start.
I mean, that 8,000 point deal in all laps made a pretty big impact on how the scores looked.
Alright,
And
and we
it
are
looks like,
starting.
yeah, Daniel is going to be our first dealer here, already two away, as one of the Dora 6 peen in hand, along with two fully completed shapes. So if we can draw a shape around that 6 peen and get rid of this extra ease for now, that would help Daniel along greatly.
Um, the other hands look pretty standard. There was a potential Sanchoku for John, but it was a Penchan, and he decided to cut it. So
Yeah, and Tristan across the way has the potential for an Epeko in the Monzu, but that shape's kind of awkward. You have the 567 completed and the 8899 on the end of it.
there's a two-peen Kanchan fill, so there's Itsu potential for John's hand now.
Yeah, just needs a 4 peen and a 5 peen.
Though
Daniel, meanwhile, drew a Ryoncon in the Sozu and really does not want to get rid of this Dora 6 peen. So actually discarded his pair of Norths to keep Dora able to be used in the hand and is rewarded. Could even now get a 567 Sanshoku.
good, yeah.
And a 4-5-6 Sanshoku possible on the right for Aaron.
I think that's definitely what he wants to happen. Um,
Ooh, okay. Accepting the 2-so pair there. You can still accept the 6-so.
Christian's hand is looking good, though. Still headless if he wants to finish that Ipeko shape.
Those,
Not forced to, though.
yeah, is actually going to just push for either Tanya or Itsu. Just needs a
Yeet.
1-mon and 4-mon to go the Itsu route. But Daniel draws into the Monzu shape and now has Richi Pinfu. Is waiting on the 5-peen and 8-peen. Also has one Dora, so a very nice little dealer hand. But same turn, Tristan entered Tenpai waiting on the 2-so and 5-so for, well, no Yaku yet. Couldn't will now have a Yaku on a discard of the
Now,
1
we'll now have Tanyao.
but might not accept that. Yeah, is
No.
really wanting Itsu.
Okay.
The
Okay.
8-mon is the 8-mon for what it's worth, also Genbutsu to Daniel's Richi. So not just pursuing, I mean, Itsu and Tanyao, of course, were worth the same amount. They are both 1-han open. But the 8-mon
Wait,
being safe, I feel like, is probably reserved.
you can't. I
Are
don't.
the are the 9-mon
I
dead?
think
Yeah,
just
all
going. Yeah, the 9-mon are in his discards. So
so you could still get Tenpai, but it looks like was not willing to discard the 1-mon
I
into.
think I think that hand was just played inconsistently.
And that does happen sometimes. Or even sometimes I've had it where I accidentally called Chi and I super didn't mean to. And then I spend the
Right.
whole game after that just trying to make it work. But as it is, avoid a dealing in at least. And
These are
Tristan taking 3,000.
these are not pretty hands.
Yeah,
Home.
Daniel, I mean, well, lots of weird pairs all over the place. It looks like John has a very nice toy for, I mean, the
Yeah,
seven
that's definitely the way you take that hand, I think.
sevens are incredibly useful for normal hands, so they might not come out as easily as the 9-so, but you can still make that work. You can even still go for a Chanta if you wanted, or since you've called the tune, you don't have to go Toy. Daniel's hand, getting much better shapes at the very least, has 5 blocks. Daniel even could still go Toy or Chi Toy if he wanted, although with a 4th West,
You
Con to get an extra draw.
Yukon, not yet.
Yeah, well, we're gonna hold off on that Con. Maybe Con once we get to Ishanten or Tenpai. Ooh, there's another 7 for John. That's huge.
Kang.
And right after discarding the 5-so, Daniel draws another 7.
There it is.
The Con flipped the 2-peen
An
as Dora,
immediate Ricci.
waiting on the 4-mon and 7-mon. So that is Richi only. Well, Dora 1 now because of that Con. So Richi Dora 1, there's 2 Dora indicators. So that could very
Yeah,
easily
and he's got
explode in
2
value.
triplets, so you're just hoping for some Urasan to show up.
Daniel now Ishanten.
Unfortunate for Aaron that those 7-mons are all locked up in hands. That 4-mon still could eventually come out, and there are 2 in the wall.
Oh, well, there's another 4-mon. I wonder. John discarding the 9-so. Everybody just trying to work around this Ricci. Oh, that 5.
Does it
Don't.
come out?
We
Does
have to
the 4
discard
come
the
out?
4
It does.
Yeah, that was Chundora 1, but
And only Ura 1, but still, that's a sizable hand.
yeah, and you do kind of expect, or at least really, really hope that you'll get an Ura once someone has called that con. Aaron now in a pretty good position entering his dealership. Discard had the pair of Souths in hand and discarded right away from that. Was not having them. Had 2 other pairs with the
Yeah,
17 and 4 so.
I totally understand the South cut.
John taking a pretty aggressive Tanyao call though.
Deciding to keep the safe South even as dealer.
It hurts efficiency a little bit. That 4-so would have been a little more helpful.
Boom.
Yeah, is really sticking to having this South here for safety. And we've seen John call twice. John has a South in his discards. There's the Dora 1-so coming out. So all 4 Dora 1-so are gone. So everybody can kind of count on the hands around the table being cheap. We have another cheap toy Ishan-sen on the left.
Oh, yeah.
But first to Tenpai is Tristan, who is waiting on the 3-peen or 6-peen that is Ricci Pinfu.
Really just on the 6, since he knows that the other 3-peen are unavailable.
Well, and now we have the immediate chase from Aaron waiting on the 147 Mon. A nice San Minchan rate. It is Ricci only, but with a 3-sided way as dealer.
Yeah, you take it.
And now we have Tenpai for John waiting on the 4-peen and 8-so.
Don't.
Oh, and the 8-so is going to come out.
Deals in.
The Shabo beats the 2 Ryanman weights, although as you said, Tristan's was already pretty much dead with the 3-peen having been pawned. Tristan now is our new dealer.
And already a nice Kanchan fill, so there's still a couple, some shapes, a couple, 2 Kanchans and a Penchant left.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. It does have the Dora 3-so. Can make Itsu with these so shapes, especially with that 6-so draw. That's fantastic.
Oh wow.
But around the table, we see a pair of Wests in Aaron's hand. Fills in the Kanchan 1-3 with that 2-mon. A very good pickup, and Aaron discarding the West since they aren't his seat. Tristan getting rid of that 8-9 Pinchon. Just trying to take an efficient hand here.
I think that's solid. Hoping to be able to move that 5-peen pair into something else, maybe.
Or now, if you draw into that 3, 4, 5, 6 Mon shape, as long as it wouldn't put you for a 10, you could maybe discard the pair of 1-so and have a Pinfu Tanyao situation. We do see the call from John, who is Tenpai waiting on the 6-peen and the 9-peen. Only the 6-peen.
Only the 6.
Will actually give John a victory here. And
exactly that happens.
But John sumos the 6-peen right after Tristan got the beautiful San Minchan upgrade in Monzu. So going into East 4 here, everybody's scores are incredibly tight. Less than 6,000 points from last to first currently. And I think we're going to
And
get a quick refresh of the screen here since we're having a little bit of a delay.
all right.
Home.
Oh
And
wow, there's
already 2 calls
we
from
missed
Aaron
so much, Michael.
and a call from Daniel.
So Daniel is Ishanten for Chun Chanta.
It looks like Aaron is going to gun for the Tonki Dora weight.
Tonki Dora, a classic, beloved. Now the seven mon now the Dealin tile. Daniel is Tempai, but it is Chun only. Tristan is Ishanten.
We may actually see 2 competing Dora Tonki weights.
Oh, and this might be it. Do you call
And
Ricci on the Dorotanki? You have Ipeko, so you could Dama it.
you
It is
do.
Dama! Oh, but the Naimon's gonna come out and deal into Daniel's Shanpon weight before the Dorotanki can come to fruition.
We
These
don't
hands have
end up with the duel of the Dora Tonki weights.
yeah, that would have been a lot of fun to see. I imagine if someone had drawn the Dora that late in the hand, they would have been a little suspicious seeing none on
Yeah.
the table. As it is, though, we enter South 1, and we're still incredibly tight here. Less than a mon gone between last and first. Daniel, in second, would like to steal first while he has the opportunity here. A lot of honor tiles in hand, just kind of clogging him up. The shapes outside of that are pretty good.
A potential Junchan and Aaron's hand, though it would need it needs the 8-so desperately.
Oh, that could be very nice. Especially since the 7 mon is Dora. Junchan Dora 1, that's already a mon gone. And looking around the table, we have a possible So Itsu for John. And is going to start calling for it. I mean,
Yeet.
you're seeing all of these Sozu come out of Tristan's hand, and really
Decides to go with the Shabo.
waiting on 7 So, 9 So. So this is just Ricci Dora 1. We see both of the 9 So already in people's hands. 7 So is nowhere to be found. Daniel, though, also Ishanten. So we very well could see Dealer chase here.
I
If he
think
is
that's
able to
pretty
get into
likely.
Tempai. Is kinda is still dancing around this Ricci here. Daniel's Ishanten just it keeps on morphing.
Right.
And the 5 mon is safe now, so discards that. The 8 So is Suji. So I wonder if Daniel draws into Tempai, whether that 8 So would be willing to come out. Oh, John also is Tempai on the left, was able to get to the point where the 7 So will now
Oh,
finish that
yeah,
8-2.
as pointed out in the chat right now, the 7-so is a double roan if it comes out of Dealer or Tristan's hand.
There's 2 left in the wall still, and only 2 tiles left. All right, 2
Nope.
7-so in the dead wall, while Aaron and John both were waiting on it.
I have to admit, I did not see that one coming.
The dead wall is just here to troll us. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? But we do not have any Kyushu Q high. I have a hard time with that one. There is no 9 terminal draw. So Aaron having to figure out what to do with this hand that has 9 distinct terminals and honors, elects to discard the 5-peen first. It looks like is maybe just going right for the Kokoshi. Perhaps Honitsu if you're able to draw more Sozu tiles.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do with this hand, really? There's one more.
I don't know. I really like the 159 Mon shape. You have 2 different ways to make that a Ryoncon. You already have a complete shape in Sozu, so I feel like I feel like the hand wasn't as dead as most 9 terminal hands are. But now with 10 distinct terminals and honors, obviously Aaron is going to keep pushing
And there
for the
is
Kokoshi.
number 11.
Is now 2 away, just needs the 1-so, 9-so, and pair. But around the table, whenever someone has all the terminals and honors, that speeds up everyone else's hand. I mean, we see Tristan on the right. If this Haku comes out of Daniel's hand, that is going to help Tristan immensely.
Each.
Is
Oh,
now
yeah.
a very good Ishan.
Already a Ricci for 1-so, 4-so.
Although 2 of the 1-so already gone. Oh, Dora! Dora is Suji, but still tossing the Dora out. Aaron really feeling willing to push this. Although, do the 4-so and the 6-so look better than Dora? Nah, probably not.
Sumo.
Now we have Tenpai for Tristan, but the 1-so is going to come into John's hands
Sumo.
first. So the Kokoshi not able to come together, and Tristan's calls not enough to outpace John, who has just taken first.
Both the dealer's hand and John's hand look pretty good this round.
Yeah, and Aaron's hand looks nice as well, but the Easts are not Yaku high, which is a little bit awkward. That 5-peen was huge for Tristan, though. I mean, you could still work out some sort of Sanshoku with this hand. The issue is, well, if you discard the 2-so, yep, all right, has a pretty nice Ishan 10. The complex shapes are held up in Kanchans, but Tristan could open this hand since it is confirmed Tanyao as it stands. A third East for Aaron, discarding the pair of 7-so. And now we have a shift towards a 6-7-8 Sanshoku for John, having completed the 6-7-8 in the So. The A-peen is our Dora, and we do see 1 in John's hand and 1 in Aaron's hand at the moment.
Each.
And now we have the Ricci from Aaron.
Shabo Ricci.
1 Mon 5-peen. So Ricci Dora 1. Oh, and now you have the Suji
trap. Yep.
Now here's my question though: is it when that's Tenpai for Tristan waiting on the 5-so? Is it really a Suji trap if you did not purposefully intend for it to be a trap? Like, it's definitely a Suji like well, it's not a deception. It's like you can't lie by mistake. You have to lie on purpose. I feel like a Suji trap has to be purposeful.
Yeah, I think maybe there's just there's not another term for it.
Oh, the 5-so comes into Tristan's hand, gets the
Wow.
pseudo for the Tanyao. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should make up a term. We can coin
C.
the unintentional Suji trap term at some point tonight. But now Tristan, a incredible
Gee.
hand as dealer, yeah, is Ishanten.
Is just going right for the Chanta here.
And the Chanta's nice because it means you don't have to get those souths. Although the souths, of course, would increase the value of the hand, well,
Boom.
unless we are comparing it to Junchan, I suppose, which is also still a possibility.
Yeah, I guess if you pick up another set, like another 9, you switch over. Already,
It's
Shabo on West 8 Mon for
yeah.
Aaron.
What an incredible Shanpon weight that is. Although
Yes.
John on the right really wants to get to
Boom.
Tenpai. That's why we had the early call for Tanyao there.
Okay.
Has 3 Dora 7mon in hand.
And
Oh, the 3
oh,
P would
does
deal in
not
the
come
shift.
out.
Sees the possible Junchan on the right. Chanta Junchan sees the shapes there and elects to discard the safer 6-peen. But now the 2-peen, yep,
Wow,
shifts
this
again.
Gee.
dance.
Absolutely fantastic. And the 7-peen now deals into John's open Tanyao Mongon.
Dong.
Oh, and the 3-peen comes!
There it comes. That's
Tristan has won a few very quick hands in a row here that have shut down absolute monstrosities elsewhere at the table.
yeah, I think if you're Aaron, you're feeling a little vindicated about your choices there, but frustrated that you didn't get that total like obvious winner of a hand.
John, though, not going it's going to take a lot of improvement for these hands to catch up to what John's got going. 2 pairs of Haku and Hatsu
Boom.
already. So we could see a Honitsu, we could see a Shosangen, we could see a Daisangen if everything lines up. We could even see a 1-2-3 Sanshoku in that hand if the dragons are abandoned. The Hatsu would have to be the pair in that case.
Right.
Has 2 of the Dora 3-peen, so we'll have
I
to make
think
some
you
hard
just
decisions.
I think you just play this either straight or as a Shosangen at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably get rid of the tune. I'm
Yeah.
not. I mean, you have 2 Dora. You're in first, but the scores are incredibly tight. Taking a 3 Han win or even a 4 Han win, if you're able to get the Hatsu, a Mongon is more than enough
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get you where you want to go right now. If you're able to sumo it, even you drop Aaron below 30k, which would be absolutely massive once you
Boom.
consider Uma. Aaron though pulled in another tune.
And a
Oh, and
Kanchan fill.
yeah, absolutely. Is now Ishanten.
Boom.
And now is Tenpai waiting on the 6-peen. So that is tune only.
Yeah, you just want even just Chun puts you in a pretty good position to both stay over 30k and potentially put yourself in a good position for South 4. So
And a nice Tenpai for John as well on the right, waiting on the 1-so and the 3-peen. The 3-peen, of course, is Dora. So a win on the 3-peen, well, it doesn't really matter, because you already have 2 Han with the dragons. So you're going to have a Mongon no matter how you win this.
and there's a weight upgrade.
Can
For
now
Aaron.
also win on Dora. So if that 4th Dora were to come into someone's hand, and if for some reason they were to discard it,
There really shouldn't be any reason it would come out, but
I mean, if Daniel calls Ricci across the table, that would be the only scenario I could really see.
yeah.
You could still get a 4-5-6 Sanshoku with Daniel's hand over there, actually. You don't have to greed for that sort of value, but you could if you wanted, according to your mood.
Boom.
Ooh,
And there's a call.
Tanyao shift. This is Tenpai if you discard the 5-so. Does not. There's a 6-peen, which would deal in to Aaron, but it doesn't come out yet.
Con.
And now we have Tempai for
Con.
Tristan. This is, of course, yeah, and a con, which makes the 4-peen Dora.
Juicing up people's hands a little bit here.
Yeah, this makes Daniel's situation a little bit tougher.
Con.
Tristan can
Oh,
call
what
this.
comes out? Oh,
Oh, but the 1-so is what comes out!
and Mangan for John. Putting him in a pretty commanding first.
Yeah,
On
that
his deal for South 4.
and has been dealt the tune. Now, this is where no Agariyame makes this a really interesting hand. So if you're John, you have a pretty good lead, but a Mangan Sumo from Aaron still overtakes you.
Already Ishan for Tristan's hand on the left.
Yeah, has Haku and 1 Dora. The issue there is you just need more value. If you could shift that somehow, it would take a lot of shifting. But oh god, we already have a Ricci from
Already
Daniel
Ricci.
waiting on 3-mon, 6-mon. That's Ricci
Ricci.
Pinfu, Dora 1, and now we have Ricci, Dora 1, and Haku on the left from Tristan. So 2 turn 4
No.
Riccis,
Oh,
and the
already.
turn Daniel deals in. Tristan's direct
Wow, so
competitor.
Oh,
Ninja
2 for a Hanuman
the
pushing.
West. That's gonna steal.
Wow.
No, that's not gonna steal first. That is gonna steal second.
Second, yeah.
Oh, and that's a massive hit for Daniel because now
Huge.
he's the
Yeah.
only person below 30K.
Oof.
That I mean, and if you're Daniel was the first one to Tempai, called Ricci on
Oh
turn
my
4,
god,
and
what
chased
a round.
also on turn 4, deals in on the Apatsu turn. That is just so incredibly tragic. I really, really hope
Yes.
that Daniel does not feel bad about this last place because I mean,
That really was a roller coaster of a game. But I mean, both of these have been really, but and
it's been less of a shootout. Like whenever someone says shootout, I kind of imagine like Wild West Revolver things. But I think every player here had like RPGs that they were just
yeah.
leveling at
Yeah,
each
just
other.
like I mean, not every hand was huge, but enough of them were that there were lots of points flying everywhere in this match.
But
Um,
as it turned out, John gets the plus 26.5 with the first. Tristan leapt into second and gets a plus
I
8.6.
think that plus 26 brings John up several positions in the standings right now.
Oh, it will, especially with Daniel unfortunately going all the way from plus 31 is now going to be in the negatives. Daniel's going to fall to, I believe, 11.
Yeah, this was a big, well, not for Aaron, for Daniel and John, this was a big swap on this rather tight, like midsection of the B1 standings.
And it looks like we have a couple different B1 games going on right now. Both of them started just a couple. Well, one is already ongoing if we were to jump into a new B1 table, or we could just continue watching this table. We're developing a relationship with these players. Everything that happens here is apparently absolutely whack. Do does anybody in the audience have a preference? Do you have a preference, Michael? Whether we stay here or go to a different game? Does Nathaniel have a preference?
Let's see. What else is going on right now?
The other
Um,
game in B1 has Kristaps, Sarah, Stanley, and Sylvie. Sarah and Stanley are both kind of on the edge of the promotion range.
Horak points out that there are some Southeast Michigan folks here that we may want to stay on Aaron's games. I, of course, um, you know, see that angle. So
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, these games have been an absolute blast,
yeah,
so
they have
I am
been.
perfectly fine with staying. When did that game started at the 12th minute, the hour dependent on your time zone, of course. I guess for the Michigan people, it started at 7:12. So we have another 2 minutes. We can look at the updated stand. Oh, well, they're not quite. I think we need a refresh on the stats page here.
Yeah. Um, I'm going to take a 2-minute uh BRB.
You go for it. I'm just gonna look at all these stats and be very jealous. So with 26 points, that will shoot John all the way up to sixth because Aaron. Well, no, Aaron got plus 0.1. So Aaron will be at 40.2. Oh, but John got like 26.5. So John is going to pass Aaron by tenths of a point, which is wild. Tristan, of course, still holding on to one of the top spots very securely. And Daniel taking the very unfortunate hit. But luckily, since this bottom half of the promotion range is so tight, just as easily as you can fall out of the promotion range with 1/4, 1/1 will also get you right back into promotion range. So this is by no means. This is not tragic overall for Daniel, just tragic in what that last hand looked like. And they did take a little bit of a break before this game, which I can definitely understand. Yeah, and now everything is refreshed on the right. So you can see actually that John is 0.2 points ahead of Aaron at the moment. It doesn't get much tighter than that. Daniel now about just a little over 30 points away from the next promotion spot. But remember, for B1, A2, and A1, there is a sixth session. So in B2, players are only playing 20 Hanchan in the regular season, and then we'll have 4 Hanchan of playoffs to determine how the Beta League is split. But B1 here
All
will
right.
end up going into a sixth session. So, even if you're able to get in the promotion range this week, you'll have to hold on to that position next week.
All right, and our next game is starting, and I am back. So,
Well, welcome home, Michael. We made
thank
cookies
you.
and cake. I hope you're not diabetic. I am, but I'm cool with it.
I may pass, but I appreciate the hospitality.
We do have a Dora 1 Mon for John. That also would be pretty sweet, but a lot of Kanshan shapes to fill here. Although a 5/6/7 Sanshoku could also make this hand a little bit more valuable.
Aaron's hand on the right may end up going rather quickly if he chooses to call.
I was holding on to the Hatsu and the Chun, kind of keeping the Dragon Dream alive. At the very least, we'll be able to make something out of those Haku. We have 2 of the Dora 1 Mon across the table in Daniel's hand. You'd really like to. Well, You could get an Itsu there, but an Itsu would be really awkward
It
for you
would
to be able to use
be,
both Dora.
yeah. I think you don't. I think you play it straight, but you're.
Each.
Oh,
There you
that
have.
that fill was incredible, but has to
Well, that's
drop
fine.
a Dora to make it work.
You're trading Pinfu for 1 Dora. They're worth the same, so might as well. So we
Yeah,
have
that's
Richie,
true.
Dora, Pinfu. Waiting on the 1 Peen and 4 Peen. 2 1 Peen already in the discards. and only one other tile in anybody
Sumo.
else's hand. So there's actually 5 tiles in the wall, and there it is.
Ah,
Another sumo. There's been many of those at this table. The sumo makes this for Han. So 5,200 plus the Ricci stick is 6,200, and Daniel off to another early lead here.
I guess if you're Aaron, you're actually glad that you didn't get a chance to throw that one pin
Yeah,
into that reach or
that
into that hand.
that would have been unfortunate. It would have been slightly less value, I believe, only 2,600. Oh no, because it's a one, so it would have been 30 fu, not 20 fu. So closer to 4,000, I suppose. But Aaron has the Haku for a second turn in a row. Can even make, some sort of Chanta nonsense with this. Could accept the
Good.
Toratuso.
Yeah.
But John on the left, I mean,
Do you call? Nope. Decides not to call. And lay out his hand too. Oh wow! Already a
John
big old
cannot.
Chinitsu coming up. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, can't help but draw Monzu tiles. Well, and now we have the Ricci from Daniel waiting on the 7-so. That's Ricci Dora 1 and the 3 Mon.
Wow! Wow. So
Four,
what is
five,
this?
Yeah, it is
is
not
this?
Tenpai.
No, not quite. It would
No.
need a 3.
Oh no, the
Oh,
7-so. This has to deal in, right?
it does. Yep. There it is. Extremely unlucky draw for John there.
It was not worth much at all, but when you consider that it's not just a minus 2,600, it's you didn't get your plus 12,000 it really felt like you were going to get.
Home.
I mean, rarely in 4-player especially is a Chinitsu hand so fast, but Daniel now gaining a lot of momentum after that last place there's a good draw there.
Aaron just rushing with this 2 Dora here.
A perfectly valid decision is Ishanten. Could even call the 3-so into Tenpai, which would make that a Mongon. But we have another early Ricci. I mean, I feel
Wow,
like
I
over
didn't-
half of the Riccis at this table have been in the first row. This one waiting on the 3-pin only. This is a Pinchon fill. Pinchon only, 3-pin only, Ricci only. I guess you could consider it a Kanchan.
You are potentially in danger of tossing that 3-pin if you are. And
Takes.
Does not decide to go for the shop. That's a better weight anyways.
Right. The Champon does give you a shot at Mongon, but since you are competing against this Ricci,
you don't greed in this situation.
Especially with the 4-pin being Nakasuji. You feel reasonably comfortable about its safety. Although we'll see if John ends up pushing here. If John's able to complete the Monzu or the Sozu shapes, might discard the 3-pin.
Do you?
Dum.
Giving it some thought, and there it goes.
This isn't, well, unless there's a lot of Ura, and there's not, so just 1,300. So John getting lucky in that these couple of deal-ins have been very small, but when you're the only person dealing in, that's still not going to help you get first.
Kind of blunting his momentum for the past couple of games here.
God, Tristan's hand. What a...
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's not worth a lot, but it's
no,
fun.
But if you're dealer, you just, give me my next high pie, and my couple thousand points.
Well, I mean, if you're able to draw into this, I wonder if we would see any pawns get passed. Because if you're able to draw into this, you would be Tenpai for Sananko, which raises the value of the hand considerably. But as you said, you really don't want to pass up a near guaranteed 2,000 points. Although we haven't seen any of these tiles come into anybody's hand. John making things more complicated, going for Kokoshi on the right. has 10 distinct terminals and honors currently. I feel like you have to palm it. Like, if you're seeing the Kokoshi from John, I feel like that changes your idea.
I
Because
would. I think I would have pwned the 9-mon and just waited
Pwned.
on Hawkhots. But you take that. Okay.
C.
yeah, and this gives more potential value because
More,
now you can get
yeah.
the now with both
Pwned.
dragons, your
You could
hand's
get
gonna be
an
worth a little bit
additional
more.
Han.
And we have the Tanyao being called for Aaron. Is Ishanten for that? The other two Haku just nowhere to be seen. Obviously, if John draws it, it will not come out of the hand.
Right.
Although, well, no, John has started folding here. Does not want to give away anything dangerous. The Kokoshi was still pretty far off. Was still 3 away, I believe. Daniel, though, with a very nice Ishanten.
Each.
That's Tempai.
And, yep.
Richi Penfu waiting on the 6-mon and 9-mon. Which we can actually see not all 8. We can see 7 of those. We can see all 4 9-mon. We can see 3 of the 6-mon.
Tristan deciding to switch up the weight here to be able to discard some safer tiles.
There's the 6-mon, the last
Don't.
one.
I think. Yep. There. Yep.
Oh, and it becomes a double roam.
Double roam.
Across the table, Aaron entered Tempai as well for Tanya Dora 1.
Not the biggest hit, but not, doesn't feel good.
Double runs always feel particularly bad, especially when you're not Tempai. Like, I'm sure Tristan might be thinking to himself here, like, oh, I could have just discarded the 2 Haku. Oh, it was Richi Penfu, not Richi Dora 1. It was Tanya Dora 1 and Richi Penfu. Didn't comment on the Penfu hand after it won. And an interesting note, as Korak pointed out in the chat, since Aaron was closest, like, turn order wise to the deal in tile, Aaron took the Richi stick there.
That makes sense.
Even though Daniel is the one who called Richi and Aaron was open, Aaron still gets the Richi stick because he's closest on the left to the person who dealt in. We do have Tempai, though, once again for Aaron. Has Chun Dora 1, I believe, and is waiting on 2-mon, 5-mon.
That was quick. Well, actually not that quick. We just have been reeling from that double roam.
John taking a very upgradable shapeshifter. Ooh, which fun pair weight do you want? Okay, so we have a Richi for sure. Definitely one Dora also for sure.
That
Could
is
get
6, 8, 9.
The 8 would not award Penfu, but as 3 of them are in Tristan's hand, it's going to be kind of hard to win on that anyway. So we're going to get the Penfu Sumo. Richi, Penfu, Sumo, Dora 1. No Ura.
Still, that puts you back into second and over 30k.
Yeah, it tightens up the standings considerably here. Not quite as tight as last game was for most of the run, but still only just barely under 13,000 points separating first and last. The 8 peen is the Dora, which John can kind of make fit into the hand.
7、
But this hand has a lot of great shapes without it. And yeah, it's just calling for a Tanyao, trying to get the dealer repeat, get another hand that perhaps will have more value to it.
Right.
The Tumon's kind of an interesting draw because you could already use the Formon with the 3/3/5. Oh, that was an interesting discard from John as well, discarding the 2 peen. I feel like I would have discarded the Tumon and kept the 2 peen because if you draw, say, the 7 peen, then you would still have a complete shape. Draws the Dora though, and decides to just discard it away, keeping the Ishanten.
7、
And now Aaron opening for.
I suppose if you're John, you're just hoping that this Ryoncon fills and you'll be good to go.
What do you think Aaron's opening for here? Is this going to shift into Tanya? Is it going to be an Itsu? A Tanya?
I am not certain.
Sanshoku? It's.
That almost seems like a. Yeah, Tanyao, I guess. I wonder. I don't know if I would have seen Tanyao in this hand.
Me neither, but Aaron is going to make it work. We are getting pretty close to the end, so it is possible it's a K10 push. Just trying to get any sort of Tenpai, though the discarding of the 9-mon
Oh,
pair.
I think it could be a K10 push because
Oh, and there's the Kanchan fill, so now Tenpai without a
if you
Yaku.
do get a payment there, you're back above 30.
And getting above 30K, as we mention all the time on these streams, is a big part of the game that you are playing. And we have, John still not able to find Tenpai.
And yeah.
7-mon doesn't deal in because there's
Right,
still no
because
Yaku here.
no Yaku. And yeah, that will just be a couple of.
Oh, Tristan gets Tenpai for G-Toy on the final draw. And keeps it. And this is actually really interesting. Since Tristan got that really hurts John. That getting the minus 1,500 instead of the minus 1,000 brought John below 30K.
Below 30K, yep.
And Aaron now has the Haku in hand. I feel like we've been talking about the Haku a lot this round.
Yeah, but
All four have
otherwise,
been dealt.
a hand that needs some work.
Oh yeah, lots of bad shapes here. The 1 peen is Dora, and you can't really use that. 2 of them are already in hand.
Already a call from Daniel for Yakuhai as well with a looks like maybe a faster hand.
Although Aaron did end up getting that Haku. Having to choose a shape to discard, discards the Pinchon.
Across the way, okay shapes though. Again, another Ryoncon in Pinzu. And another one on the left.
Well, the one in Pinzu is like a Sankon now.
Yeah.
Daniel getting a Chi, that does make him Tenpai, waiting on the 2-peen. Jundora 1. It's really close to a Chanta, but you'd have to exit Tenpai to get there.
Mm. And
Ooh.
decides to call, changing up the shapes in Sozu there.
Talking about Sozu, Tristan has a lot of them, but just can't make any shape complete. Has two complete shapes in So. But the rest of the hand's kind of a mess still for Tristan. The 2 peen comes into John's hands, but he can use it, of course. So there's still two 2 peen left in the wall. Well, and there's another 5 peen. Jeez. John's shape's not really getting any better. Well, now you have a Ryoncon.
You cut the 1 mon here,
Or the 6 mon.
or the 6.
4
Oh, and the
the
2
2
peen's gonna
peen
come out.
comes out and deals in.
So just Chun Dora 1. So Daniel extending the lead here.
ポン
Tristan's going to be the last dealer, so it's going to have a
Easy,
shot to get back.
easy south call.
Yeah, this feels like a pretty callable hand besides to
Yeah,
being
the
able
9 mon
to.
will get called when it comes out, almost certainly. And nope,
Oh, it didn't.
did not. I don't. I guess figuring that will end up as pair.
Yes, could. Expecting the 6 mon to turn into a more fun shape. Although now you could even push for Honitsu according to how greedy you want to be. The Hatsu that came into hand is Dora, but you only have one. You could be thinking Dora Tonki at some point if you go the Honitsu route,
リーチ
especially.
And
Oh, and
a
Chitoy.
Chitoy hand over here for Tristan. I don't know the 5 though.
So, I think the idea is here if you discard the 5 so, right? That's a Suji trap on the 8 so, but no one's going to trust
Gee.
that Suji trap, just in general.
Sure.
Suji trap on the Richi tile often is sus. But
Right.
if you call Richi on the 8 so, if the 2 so.
2 so comes out, that's more.
Now,
Yeah,
personally, I probably would have waited around for just a different tile,
I
but.
think I would have as well, especially if it's only turn 6.
Oh my god, we have a monster here now for Daniel, though. This is Honitsu, South, Toy Toy, Dora 2. So this is a dealer Hanuman.
Yeah.
I mean, could have discarded the Hatsu and had it could have discarded the Hatsu and had a 3-sided weight for the dealer Mongon. You would have had a 4-mon, 5-mon, 7-mon. That would be your sumo right there. But if the Hatsu comes out, it's going to have ended up being worth it. And we
Yeah,
see
but
all of the 5 so are trapped in Aaron's hand, unfortunately for Tristan.
right.
チ
Oh.
Now we have 2 Dora Tonkis.
Two Dora. So we did eventually get our battle of the Dora Tonkis.
But that hand can't win. There's no Yaku in Aaron's hand. So if
Don't.
the Hatsu comes out, which it will, it's only going to be a single Ron, but 18,000 is more than enough.
Sure. I'm a little surprised that came out.
Well, it was Ricci. No choice.
Oh, right. Yeah, I missed. That's a
Boom.
huge hit for Tristan. I mean, he's still safe in the standings, but
It doesn't feel good.
ポン
Even when you're at plus 175 overall and this game isn't going to bring you under or anything, you're still like, oh, well, that was not the best. Daniel, on the other hand, is doing exactly what we said and is in a fantastic position to jump right back into the promotion zone. Has a pretty decent hand here, can accept the Dora 5-peen. Is Tushanten still. But a pretty nice Tushanten. Aaron on the left, though, has already called the west and the north. We'll see if Aaron pushes for some more some more value in one direction or another. Two Dora in Tristan's hand on the right. How many pairs is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Discards from the discards from a pair. It's just gonna make this a normal hand. Wow, another Dora!
Oh, that's a massive hand.
Daniel considered taking the Chi there. Wouldn't have been completely unreasonable. Drew the 5 Mon though. And now we have Aaron shifting towards the Honitsu. Is now Tenpai waiting on the 5 So and 8 So. Is Furiton actually with the 5 So in the
yeah.
discards.
Needs to move that around a little bit, or Sumo. But that's one way to get value out of that hand, which would have otherwise just been pay and some foo.
Yep, and now we have 1 So and 7 So. Mostly caught up in people's hands. There's 1 So left in the wall. Daniel's been Ishanten for a very long time.
リーチ
It's had a pretty nice Ishanten too, but just can't draw into Tenpai.
And there
Tristan,
is
on the
a
other hand.
6/7 Shabo.
And that is Riichi Tanyao Dora 3. So just needs 1 Ura or a Sumo to make this a Hanuman. And this is where position really plays a factor in whether you call Riichi or not. I mean, there's even if you weren't in a pretty deep last, you might still call Riichi here for that Hanuman Sumo. But say Daniel, for example, would be a lot less willing.
ポン
7 So was Suji. There's the last 6 So. 6 Mon. So all of Tristan's tiles in people's hands.
Oh. And just 2 Tenpais. That was a real nail biter.
Aaron holding on to Tenpai was absolutely huge. Staying above 30K.
ポンポン
And
See
we
what-
see a call from Daniel already just wanting to end the game.
Oh yeah, you can just keep anybody from catching up to you. If Aaron falls below 30K, that's just going to be icing on the cake, but you don't really need it. You're going to
Sure.
leap up significantly regardless. Aaron also really wanting to make sure that he does not get pushed below 30K. So that
Absolutely,
early
yeah.
south call. Tristan's hand, unfortunately, incredibly slow still. The only completed shape is the Anko of West, which forces your hand to be closed. Not really any clear paths to the
Oh, well, there's one.
That helps. You are now Ishanten.
No con for flow.
Yeah, Daniel, the con. I mean, the con could be fun for Daniel, but
This
Last
isn't
thing
this
was-
isn't the hand for fun.
no, this is not. You should be
Chi.
miserable on this hand. There's the Chi. Ishanten now for Daniel.
チー
And Ishan for Aaron as well.
ポン
John, we haven't really paid much attention to, is also
Yep, nice
Ishanten.
call. Tenpai on the 2 So.
ロン
And there it
Oh!
goes. Wow.
Immediately gets it from Tristan. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't useful in Tristan's hand, and obviously Tristan's just gonna push whatever he gets.
Yes.
John could have opened and won basically anything to get over 30K since there was 1,600 points in the middle, but as it stands, ends up trapped just below
Alright.
the bar. So Daniel with a plus 39.8, which it should be noted is larger than the last that he took in the previous
Yeah,
game.
so
So
he is back into the promotion zone, I believe, and
yeah, we'll be
Aaron picking back up his 10 points to be basically even or like +1, I think, so far.
and then John taking a small minus, just barely hanging on to that eighth spot. And Tristan with a minus 42 actually fell from second into third, though is pretty safe still.
Yeah.
Just a little stretch. It is, let's see, it is 7:45. I am
But
technically
y
free until like 8:15 if I wanted to push it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. How are you feeling, Michael?
I'm good for another one, but if you need to try to find, like I don't think I'm not, convinced that another one will take exactly 30 minutes, even if they've been going relatively quickly, so
Yeah, well, and according to the dealer repeats, which anybody here is capable of. So let's see. I think at least for right now, Nathaniel will probably step in and
sure.
take my place, which Nathaniel putting in that incredibly hard work has been broadcast directing, making everything run very smoothly. Thank you for doing that, Nathaniel, making this broadcast possible, and especially now that you will be doing both commentary and the directing. Michael, thanks for hopping on this stream. I know
Yeah, sure.
you weren't feeling great earlier, so we really appreciate you making this happen.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to help.
And I hope everyone has just an absolutely fantastic time. I am going to head out for the night. I hope everything goes well.
Great. Thanks, Tucker, for the great commentary, and we'll see you again soon.
How's it going, Michael?
Good, good.
Hopefully the audio is okay here. I think this is one of the first times that we've had a broadcaster step in for commentary, but I'm really excited to check out this last game.
Yeah, they've been pretty eventful games so far. So
Some really wild hands, and thank you, of course, to Tucker for commentating on the first three. They were certainly thrilling ones to watch, and this is the last match that they're playing, game number 4. It'll be well. Tristan's in pretty safe position right now, but it'll be for John, Daniel, and Aaron their last chance to make a push at making sure they stay in the top 8, and especially for all three of those players, they are the 6th, 7th, and 8th slots, so they do really need to uh, make sure that they can maximize the number of points in this game. At the very least, don't finish negative, and
yeah,
most likely one of the players will. If we get
I
a
mean,
normal
yes.
finish. So
And if you're Tristan, you're safe, but you don't want to take another hit like you just did. So
right, yeah, definitely glad that we got to catch this game because there's so much incentive for all of the players here to just battle for the maximum placement, the best possible placement. And this game should be starting in a minute or so. And I'm just thinking back to that last game. There was that incredibly bold move. I think it was Tristan who was going for the Honitsu hand, had the south and all of those Manzu tiles. And instead of choosing the wider 4-5-7 weight, chose the Hatsu weight, Dorohatsu weight, and it paid off in
yeah,
spades.
incredible greed, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Sometimes the greed pays off. And here we go into the final game of this set. It is Ranjan. That'd be John, who is our dealer. To the right, we have Aaron, CS Blue. Across the table is Daniel, SJS. And to the left is Bird Up, who is
Home.
Tristan. Tristan is the name there. And John getting us off to a quick call of the Haku. We've got Ishanten for
Home.
Hakunomi.
And a pay call from Tristan, who is perhaps hoping to incorporate the Dora.
Yeah, speaking of the Dora, John also just drew a Dora 4-pin.
Home.
And with this call is now Tenpai.
Already Tenpai.
2,900, assuming things stay the same. Waiting on the 4-7 mon. Let's see. I think there are 3 left in the wall. And of all the players who might be willing to drop it, we might see it come out of Aaron's hand eventually, depending on how that shapes up. If the 3 mod pair or the 6 mod pair turns into an Anko, then we might see the 4 or the 7 come out. As it is, it's Tristan who finds Tenpai before waiting on the 3-pin for pay only.
Yeah, I don't... Being...
Chi.
Having a Penchant wait on the Dora indicator is not the best wait, but, you know,
Chi.
that doesn't mean it can't work out.
Yeah, the alternative is to just not take the Tenpai,
Right.
but...
Long.
Oh, we see a quick call across the table. That was a Sanshoku that was formed. I was kind of wondering what the Yaku was going to be. It wasn't Itsu, it wasn't Tanyao. It was 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku. So Sanshoku Dora 1, and it's actually Daniel who comes out to the early lead, grabbing 2,000 points from Aaron.
Oh, Aaron's this hand needs a lot of work.
Oh yeah, this is definitely not what you want to see. I'm sure he was taking a moment there to count how many terminals and honors he had.
Actually, Tristan looks like has a hand that could go pretty fast here.
Oh yeah, that looks great. I wonder how those Pinsu shapes will resolve. It looks like Ipeko could be building there. And if you want to get really greedy, you could even aim for Chinitsu. But I imagine
think with Dora 3 is value enough.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be one of the main deciding factors. So potentially Pinfu Ipeko Dora 3. And around the table, we have a pay Anko to the right. That's Ishanten actually. Not guaranteed to be a good weight though for Ricci. And I'd expect, even if Daniel were to declare Ricci, that Tristan would fight with that massive hand.
And John's hand is close, but has a couple of Kanchan.
You might end up trying to turn that into Tanyao and just start calling if things start to get late. Oh, this is Tenpai.
That's Tenpai.
Does declare the Ricci, waiting on the 6-pin, 9-pin. 9-pin, of course, would be Ipeko. Ricci Pinfu Dora 3, currently. So Sumo or the 9-pin would guarantee the Hanemon. Ooh. John's hand kind of coming together, but not willing to completely fight just yet. Unfortunately for the other players, just looking at these discards, it looks like the danger suit is the Pinzu.
It definitely does. There's barely any in the pawns at all.
So we might see players waltzing around that suit, avoiding the discard of any of those types of tiles. And for Aaron, who's our dealer, the hand never really got off with a bad start. So folding seems reasonable here. I guess you have Chitoi options now. 5 pairs. This is actually Ishanten. Similarly, Ishanten for Chitoi on the left with John's hand. And technically, Daniel on the right is also Ishanten if you can draw the 5-pin or the 7-pin. So a lot of players somehow getting close. There's only 2 6-pin left in the wall. We're running out of tiles.
Each.
Oh! We see the reach. The Tenpai was found on the previous turn. Not declared, though. And then Sumogiri 9 so reach for Chitoi Tanyao. Oh, Daniel finds 10 by 2, also drawing a 5 pin. Putting on the 7, of course, does not declare the Ricci here.
And
we end up
unfortunately, that's 10 pie for everybody but Aaron, who just could not put that hand together.
Yeah, that hand was so bad from the start. But wow, that's actually really impressive that all the players managed to dodge the Pinzu. It was a bit of an aggressive 2-pin discard from John, but it paid off, netting an extra. Well, at least you didn't lose 1,000 points. Your 1,000 points is sitting in the middle of the table right now because you did declare the Ricci. But Daniel has a pretty decent chance of stealing that.
And a pretty fast-looking double tone hand for Daniel here.
Oh, what a nice 4-so draw. So this is already Ishanten. And with, oh my goodness.
Oh,
Each.
there it is.
Which weight do you take? Champon? Yeah.
Shabo on. I mean, that doesn't secure you your Tuhan from the tone, but
At least
you
gives
might
you
be
the
correct.
opportunity to.
Yeah.
Aaron on the left is actually Ishanten as well, so we could see a battle here. So far has had safe tiles to discard. In fact, the discards look almost exactly the same if you look at the first 6.
Dora now has a bit of additional value.
Yeah, I'm assuming on a
Gee.
Chun discard, we would see an insta-call.
I would expect so, yeah.
And we saw across the table, John calling the 3-4-5 shape. Could make Tanyao.
Home.
He's trying for the 3-4-5 Sanshoku.
Yeah, well, here we see the Chun. So 4-7 weight, 4-7 mon weight for Aaron.
I think you push.
Yeah, it's a, oh, it does not.
Decides not to.
It's a dealer reach, but it was really fast. So you're kind of wondering how value could it really be.
Home. Don't.
Instead, it's
And there's the deal in, but not on the double tone.
just 2,000 points, but you get the Ricci sticks from the middle of the pond, and you're sitting pretty at 37,000. This dealer hand also looks pretty reasonable. You've got some decent shapes and Adora 5 mon.
Already a pretty good 8-pin pickup there.
To the right, you're kind of wondering whether or not you're going to make Honitsu or just like a pair-based hand. Well, with that Anko of 2s, 2-pin drawn, you're probably just making Ricci here, or maybe even Ipeko. Across the table, what? Is this template already for John? Doesn't declare the Ricci.
It is, yeah, on the Tanki on the 4-mon, but probably going to switch that out to a better weight.
Yeah, here we see a Nobeton if he chooses to accept that.
Nobeton.
We could have even seen, a Ricci on the East Tonki would have been
Decides
really
not
nice
to
too.
do the Nobeton. Perhaps seeing if they can shift the weight to a Tanyao?
Tanyao upgrade, also Hifu upgrade, Dora upgrade. There are a few tiles that could make this hand worth a little bit more. So, and it's still very early. I can understand this delay. Daniel now finds Ishanten for the Itsu and the Pinzu.
Each.
And that's what it looked like John was aiming for. Now you can get Pinhu as well.
That is a 258.
Yes. Ricci Pinhu only. Aaron in a little bit of trouble here. Kind of has a hand that you could push with, but instead chooses to discard the 1 mon, so not forcing the 6-7-8 Sanshoku.
Chi.
It's kind of calling around. Might end up there.
Chi.
Now Tanyao Tenpai, 4-7 pin is the weight. Tanyao only.
Hoping to outspeed this Ricci here. Now Pinzu is just incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, 2, 5, 8, 4, 7, all bad. The only safe tiles right now are the 1 and then the 3, 6, 9 Suji.
3, 6.
Sumo.
There it is.
And Sumo. Just 2 Han, but you get yourself back into 3rd here.
It does the trick for Aaron, and it is now Tristan's dealership. And I don't mind this starting hand. I would put this in the maybe above average category. You've
Yeah,
got
that's not bad.
Tiny down tiles, potential Sanshoku 2, 3, 4. You've got shapes, good shapes and good floaters. To the right, this looks like Pinfu, a very standard Pinfu. This is Ishan 10 already with a Dora, so that's very nice. Across the table, we have the Chun pair. Perhaps just going to call for a fast hand here. To the left, good shapes. Pinfu looks like the way to go here, except for the fact that you have 2 of the Dora 6 mons. So depending on how that works out, you could end up with a slightly different shape.
Lots of pairs too. Actually, that's already Chitoi, Ishan.
Yeah, you're right. And so will not be a standard hand. We'll aim for the 7 pairs with 2 Dora. And across the table, we saw the Chun call. As predicted, Aaron aimed for that fast hand. Still has a couple weaker shapes to fill in. Oh, well, there's one nice
There's
draw.
one.
Yeah, one down, and then your other shapes are good. So you can call the 3 pin or 7 pin on the outer end. Anything inside 4 through 6 will also work as well for Tenpai. You'd prefer not to get the 5 though.
1
So reach for John, reach Pinfu waiting on the 5, 8 Mon, reach Pinfu Dora.
And
Across-
3, 6 for Aaron now.
Yeah, Mon await as well. So, oh,
Oh.
well, that's not good. It's near Dora, but you might have to push it anyway. Dodges it.
Decides to dodge.
Well played by Aaron. Recognizes the danger of those tiles near the Dora 6 Mon. And still has a route to Tenpai as well. You could sort of dance around this for a little bit.
Still, that route to Tenpai is very fraught.
Uh-oh, here we see. You can grab Tenpai here again, but do you want to drop the 4 Mon?
I think he does.
It's not much better than the 8.
No. I honestly was expecting it, but
Yeah, I think if you fold on the 8, then you're also going to fold on the 4, as the
Oh,
weight
that's
is a little
fair.
bit worse. Bird Up says 4 is fine, though. Tristan aiming for that dealer repeat. And I guess if you can pass the 4, you'll probably be able to pass the 7 too, although it could be like a 6-8 Kanchan. But this gives Aaron more chances to get back into Tenpai as well, and Tristan does choose to push the 7. So Ishan 10 now. That is technically Tenpai. Does not choose to accept it though. Or wait. That is Tenpai, waiting on the 7 so.
相撲
Does not matter as John grabs the Sumo. Reached Sumo, Pinfu, Dora,
Oh,
and an
yeah.
Ura. That's a nice
Picks up.
pickup.
Yeah, for sure.
That Ura changes it from 5,200 to 8,000. And with that, John moves to 100 points.
Almost takes the lead.
Yeah. Which is 100 points
Just
shy, but a very good starting hand. As your Ishan 10, rather Yan Shan 10 from the get-go. I'm assuming that the Chun will be called any second into Ishan 10. To the right,
Potential Honitsu for Aaron on the right.
He keeps drawing these honor tiles, so really going to gun for it
And
now.
now it's a pretty obvious play.
Across the table, that looks like it could be a Mon Shinitsu, except for the fact that you've already got a complete shape in the Sozu. So probably will aim just for a normal hand here, and that's Ishan 10. And to the left,
No con yet.
oh, the fourth Haku is drawn. Wow. The hand to the left is looking really good too.
It is quite like it's going to shape up pretty nicely here.
You've got all the shapes you need for Pinku Tanyao. Dora 1.
It just the only thing left is that Penchan, the 8-9 pin. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't even need that. You really just want to draw a 5 pin, 5 Mon, and get Tenpai on the 3-6. So
Yeah. Okay, there's a call from Aaron for the south.
that's double Yakuhai. You have the Haku in hand and a Dora with the Honitsu.
Oh, that's double south Honitsu. That Haku. That's with Dora. That's a Hanemon.
Absolutely. Oh, there's a second Dora.
Oh,
Con.
Now we con. And if you can get a third, that's Paimon.
Ich.
Daniel takes the Richi, waiting for the
Penchan.
three Mon. This will be Richi Itsu. There's 2 indicators. With his hand, Aaron's definitely going to fight. And calls into Tenpai here. And this is big trouble for Daniel. You cannot defend against the 3-6 weight that Aaron has. 4 of them still left in the wall is very strong. And John pushing against this grabs Tenpai as well for the Tanyao Sanshoku. Dora 1, because the 7 so was the new Dora indicator. We also see 2 of the 7 so in the hand to the left, so even Tristan might want to fight for this.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
Tenpai.
After, I think maybe you do.
Declares a Richi on 2-5 pin. We could see that there's a call. Oh my goodness, the worst weight wins. That is unbelievable. Richi, Tsumo, Itsu, and an Uradora. Doesn't change the...
Huge hand for Daniel and a huge disappointment for Aaron.
For Aaron, everyone was Tenpai there, right? Yes. Yeah. Tristan had just got Tenpai and declared the Richi. Oh my goodness, what a massive hand that was. And yeah, for Aaron, for sure, that Hanemon that was looking so good. And you see that 3-mod come up and like, that was the weight that beat my Yan.
Yeah, no, that would get me pretty salty.
And we'll see. It's definitely a test of Aaron's mental fortitude, but we'll see if he can pull this dealer hand off. It's kind of, weak high pie to start with, but is turning this around, starting to pick up some better tiles.
Potential 2, 3, 4, but 3 Kanchans.
Yeah, it's so awkward there. The rest of the players are aiming to just not let Aaron have a dealer hand here. To the right, it's Daniel who calls the Hatsu, is waiting for 1 tile before he'll be in Tenpai. Either a 2-mon or switches the weight. So now it has a Manzu weight and a Pinzu weight. And then to the left, it's John who called the Pei, which is Yakuhai, and can also was looking to be Chanta as well, and a Dora, and possibly the Chun.
A bit closer to that Chanta for John.
I really like the discard of the 2-3 here. For one, you guarantee Chanta because now you're not going to draw the 4 pin. For the second reason is you will guarantee the usage of the Dora 9 pin.
Yeah,
it's greedy. It's technically a little less efficient, but it guarantees all of your value.
But that. So you're hoping that 1 Chun does come out pretty soon here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't beat out the hand to the right. Now, the third reason would be it allows you to call the Chun for an extra Yakuhai. But we move into South 3. It is Daniel's dealership. Daniel, who is the only player over 40k, and has
Aaron
a little bit of work
has
to do.
a hand that allows him some quick calls here.
Well, we might see the infamous Toy dash, and here they are. Please let Daniel get a discard pun. John hasn't even had a turn to draw yet. Oh, he discarded one tile. That was the second call. But all right, we need a 3-pin. We need another pair. If we're sitting in Aaron's seat, the door is the west, and we see a pair of those to the right in Tristan's hand.
Then decides to not go with the Tenpai there.
Oh, was there a Tenpai pass? Who was that?
Aaron, the 6 mon.
Oh, I see waiting on the 8 as 6-8 shape. So that would have been just 2 Han.
Yeah.
Really wants the Mongon Toy Toy. I mean, Mongon does put you over 30k, so that does make sense. And
Yeah,
I guess if you're... Oh, here we go.
There it is.
Yeah, if you're going to force Toy Toy, then you want to be waiting on the east here.
Of course, right.
So that play makes a lot of sense. To the right, this is Ishanten. Really wants to draw the 7 mon for Ipeco
Yeah.
to accompany the Pifu. Door 2. Ooh, well, now you've got door 3, so you really just want to get anything so you can go reach.
And a huge, big sumo for Aaron there. Really needed that. Just wants to stay positive for tonight.
Yeah, I was going solo on the east wind and grab that. And perfect result for CS, who moves over 30k. And we have Tristan's dealership.
Already a call of the Shah for Aaron.
And we've seen Aaron do this a couple times. We get to the South 4, Aaron's just over 30k and wants to end it quickly. I believe that's how the last game ended as well. But Tristan doesn't want that to happen again this time. Calls the Hatsu is Ishanten now for Hatsudora 1.
Yeah, the potential of taking another pretty... Well, if he took a loss the way things are right now, he wouldn't take the full -20 Uma, but still, you don't want to take another.
Exactly.
Like, this would be a
Negative
-25.
Yep. 24.7 if we're going to be precise, but it is Tenpai. So if the 3 soak comes out, then we can dodge all of that. We should point out to the right, though, look at that Anko of Southwind. That's double Yakuhai for Ranjan, who just needs 2,000 to get up to 30k, so I'm sure he would be willing to call for Tenpai.
And it's a pretty nice Ishan already for Aaron. And now Tenpai on 2-5 Peen.
Oh, and Tristan
And
does
there
try.
goes.
So the fourth game ends the same way the third one does, with a cheap.
A -25 point something for
we'll take a look.
Tristan. And Daniel can more than making up for that early game.
Yeah, we see Daniel grabs 25 points. Aaron in second place with a +7. So that was our 6th and 7th players. John takes the -7, so that's not the worst situation. We'll bump him out of the top 8, but just barely.
Right.
And then Tristan with -25 will finish in the pause over 100.
Third. So he's still not in too bad of a position. Just wants the session 6 to go a little bit better than this.
So score should be updated now. And we can see, yeah, Tristan's pretty safe. It'll be unlikely he could drop, in fact, guaranteed in. Guaranteed in.
So a big night for Daniel and John. Aaron, I think, ending up just +8 for the night or so, I think.
Yeah, I guess the big question here is, do you think +50, 57 is enough for Aaron? We see there are some players below this level who have some games to be played. Albert, Stanley, Sarah. With some big wins, they could end up surpassing. And of course, we have another session to follow. But I think if you're any of the players at this table, you are probably going to be reasonably satisfied with the results here. Tristan's still in decent position. Daniel, Aaron, John all making it into the playoff slots as it stands right now. So they've done about as well as they could have hoped. All right. Well, I know there are a few more matches that are going to be going on tonight. I don't know what your timeline looks like, Michael.
I need a couple minute break, but I can do at least one more.
Great. Well, I think I'll also take a small break as we swap things around. I'll find a game that's might already be in progress, but we'll hop into one in a few minutes. So stick around. We will come back with some more Mahjong action in just a few. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody. I've got a game up for us. It is from the A2 division. At this table, we have Hanemandre is our current dealer, who is Andre. To the right, Tech Pro is Minko. Across the table, I believe I've got the wrong Ryan, but it is Ryan. And then to the left, we've got Kevin, and it is the last of the A2 matches, it looks like. So this will determine the placement heading into the snake round. I'm very excited to see how things go here. This is game 1 out of 4, so they have all 4 to play probably tonight.
So if that's Ryan A, I suppose looking to get out of the demotion zone then.
Yes. Yep, there we go. Have the right Ryan now. And it is, yeah, at negative 80. Oops, let me grab the right screen. There we go.
Dong.
Oh, and we see a deal in on a Nobetan.
Looked like Tanya Dora. I just missed the screen as it came up, but
I think so, yeah.
all right, so we're in South 2 now. This is Minko's second dealership, currently in 4th place, so wants to make something out of this hand.
Yeah, I believe Minko had been kind of dominating the A2 standings for a long time, and then I think took a couple of L's during last session.
Yeah, a 4th place and a 3rd place, I believe, really didn't help things out. And of course, Luz has had an excellent run of things lately. Winning a Yakuman for 1 certainly helps, and currently has grabbed that 1st place slot. And it's Andre in 2nd place overall in the standings, who is also sitting at this table to the left and over 30K in 2nd place in this game. And so yeah, there's a lot of things at stake in this match. We see quick call to the right from Ryan, aiming for a Honitsu here. Quick call to the left from Andre, aiming for a fast Tanyao. Tanyao Dora 1 once you grab the 7-mon. And we see 2 of those Dora 7-mon are in Kevin's hand across the table, which is Ishan Tem with reasonable floating tiles, just looking to draw something around that So shape, or ideally another Dora tile.
Definitely, yeah. Decides to switch out
Yeah, this is
the south for a west. And
TechBro decided to drop the 1-2. Would have dealt into Ryan, except Ryan switched the weight to the theoretically better 147.
yeah,
However, we can see that that's not as live as you'd expect it to be.
It is not.
It's 1-7 and 1-1-mon, or 1 pin. So weight is not good, as good as you'd want it. And it is Minko who's Ishan 10. Oh, there's the Dora draw. Oh my.
At Nobetan on 1-4 so.
Richie Dora 3 would be Manga.
1 so still looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see that get pushed, especially from Brian, who is Tenpai for the Honitsu hand. And here we go. Well, we see it come out right here.
It's there it is.
Yeah, it didn't look super dangerous, but
Nope,
in fact deals into
That's
Mongon.
Mongon.
They'll switch places, and in fact, now Kevin is 400 points out of 1st place. As we move to the 1st place player's hand. Oh my.
Already a pretty incredible starting hand for Ryan here.
Keeps drawing Monsu. This is Ishan 10. For Honitsu, potentially south as well. You can't call this one. And I'm being Ishan 10 with an incredibly wide weight. you might not even call at all.
We
Close
see a
Honitsu.
couple of calls on the left and right. Minko
Chi.
expecting to get the tune
Chi.
at some point.
Panda, Ryan, that is, does call for Tenpai. Currently just Honitsu only.
Sumo.
But does draw.
And
All right.
Sumo for Honitsu.
1,000 from everyone else. And we'll go again. And wow.
Already Anko of Hak.
Yeah, the Haku, and then the 7 mon is the first draw to fill that penchant, and you're Ishanten. And speaking of Ishanten,
Kind of a bunch of trash over in Minko's hand, though completes a shape, and so
yeah, the hand across also Yanshanten. But getting close, really, it's just a matter of how quickly or how long will it take for Ryan to grab Tenpai.
right.
Incredibly wide weight here.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, there's a second pair up in the honors. And that actually counts as Yakuhai.
Now you could potentially do something with that hand, but it's still going to be slow.
I wonder if we'll see a Honitsu push here. Starts with the honor, so not committing to it just yet.
Decides the Ryankon is worth more than the floating honor.
Right, South has been once cut, so that does make sense. Ooh. All right, with 3 honor pairs, I think you might start to go for it. Instead, just drops the tune.
Home.
And now the Monsu start to flow out. You could still call for
Yeah,
Tenpai with a
it
3.
Could, but if another So shows up, maybe you do switch.
Ryan not calling the Ricci here, waiting Damatan for 3-pin, 6-pin.
I don't know. I think I Ricci this, but I can understand.
It's not that there are really any value upgrades here, so I wouldn't hate just throwing the stick in.
Each.
Speaking of the stick, it's Hanamandre who throws the 5. So for Ricci, waiting on the 3 mon.
Ricci Peiko.
Yeah, pulled in the 7 so to complete that Ipeko. And Ryan's just pushing here, so I think if you're...
Does that 6 come out?
It does.
It
Don't.
does.
Yeah, it does not declare Ricci to chase because the 6 was in the discard pool. You'd expect it to be thrown as a tile of safety in it, and that's exactly what happened. So once again, we get another dealer repeat and another good starting hand. Not as wild as the last 2, but
No.
I wouldn't be upset if I were the dealer I thought saw this.
Andre has an obvious Honitsu hand here in the Dora suit.
Oh my. So this could be Honitsu, Itsu, Dora 1, and Haku.
Oh, needs the 5/7 for Itsu.
Home.
But that would be really nice.
We'll start with a Haku call. You have a pair of South in the hand to the left. Minko could choose to fight
Chi.
this. Does call Chi here and might even be aiming for Honitsu as well.
I think that is probably how I would play that
Chi.
hand.
Okay, so we see a Chi here. This does sort of widen the options for Andre. And the South comes out. That does get called, and we are aiming for Honitsu here. And now to the right, will Kevin drop the 6-pin as well? It seems bad because that's the door tile, and you can see the Honitsu to the right, or what looks like Honitsu to the right, especially with that 5 mon discard. So I think we'll see that being retained in hand for a while.
And Ishan for Minko with that call, but it's pretty obvious what's going on that side of the table.
Yeah, it makes it awkward for the rest of the players, and Kevin not willing to drop any of these dragons either. You could
So
have dropped the tune.
I suppose what you want as a player going for Honitsu is somebody on your left going for a different Honitsu.
Right? Yeah, in that sense, Minko almost has an advantage.
And there's Tenpai.
Chooses the 1-mon Tanki, but all 3 of the remaining 1-mon are in Ryan's hand. And instead, it is Andre who gets Tenpai.
So that's also Tenpai for Andre for the 7 pin.
Really wants the Itsu here. Has been discarding in order to create that. Haku, Itsu, Dora, Honitsu is just Mangan. Open. Oh, we can switch to the 6-9 here, and does so. 6-9 kind of running thin though. Only 1 9-mon left in the wall.
Still, knowing what we know, of course, that's a solid decision.
Right. Oh. Trying to see if there's a way that Ryan could grab Tenpai here. And even the hand to the right has a path to Tenpai that doesn't involve dropping Manzu or Pinzu.
Yeah, this needs to pick up
5-8 pin or
Manzu
2-5
and drop that Forso.
Yeah.
And the Forso just came out of Andre's hands, so you know it's safe.
Ooh, Andre choosing the Minko choosing the Suji trap on the 3-mon. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Switches. Does not deal in here, and we're heading to Ryukyoku. Except Kevin got there, so 5-8 would also win now. East.
I suppose you don't push your hand that late when you know.
Yeah, with the Pinzu discards that Andre had made, you know he's Tenpai.
Right.
He has not been upgrading at all, so it's a clever play from Minko, and there's a reason why he was in the lead for so long. It's because of that strong decision making. And we head to South 4. This is the last round of this game, unless Kevin can get a dealer repeat. Kevin doesn't really necessarily want one of those, as he's already got, second place locked up. But his current standings, 10th, you might want to get a little bit more out of this. And so, of course, he'll push for it at the start of this hand, aiming for the Honitsu here. Honitsu, Dora 1 so far. To the left, we see Ryan also calling quickly. Looks like this is a speculative Tanya play. The hand to the right looks a little bit easier to complete with the Hatsu call and 2 Dora in hand.
It looks like we kind of have a race here. Ryan calling to just get Tanya Dora 1.
It's so awkward after 3 calls. You'd expect, maybe Tenpai. But there's just 4 floating tiles in Ryan's hand.
And Honitsu calls from Kevin. Who is also looking to snag Honitsu Dora 1.
This 8-pin looks a little scary against the Honitsu. Just throws it out anyway.
Perhaps expecting that Kevin is not yet there.
Yeah, we haven't really seen overflow, just that Hatsu a little bit earlier. Kevin not discarding that 6, so slowing down Andre's hand.
Boom.
Might end up getting punished for it if Andre can get Tempai before the 6 needs to come out.
Yeah, I think I would have pushed it sooner rather than later. Or, cut it.
Boom.
Oh! Tempai waiting on the Dora 5-pin and the North.
North. That's a really nice... I don't think Shabo weights come much better than Dora North.
Yeah, none of the North have been discarded yet, so completely live in the wall. And this is Toy Toy, by the way. Hatsu, Toy Toy, Dora 2, or even 3 if the last 5-pin comes out. Now, it's not going to come out of Kevin's hand. And after that draw, it's probably not going to come out of Panda's hand either. Panda being Ryan on the left, of course. I think even if you draw a 6-pin, you don't really want to drop the Dora here. I'm not even sure I would drop the 2-pin at this point. Does push it.
Maybe is not expecting that they have another shape around that area with the 1s gone and the 1, 2, 3 call.
That is true.
Gee.
We can see a call now for Hadaka Tanki. It is just a 5-mon for Ryan.
That's a pretty ugly weight.
But it almost had to be this way because you didn't really want to drop the Pinsu shape, so...
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin walking on thin ice here. This hand is not going to complete for Kevin, so you just want to find Tempai safely. You've got one more draw to do it.
Doesn't look likely.
Where are the Norths? Oh,
Are they
there it
both?
is. Oh, and it comes
Boom.
out.
Oh, it had to.
This really, really hurts. Because look at how this changes the scores. Ryan drops him first, all the way down to third, below 30K. And
That's
Andre and Kevin tie for first.
being kind of a cursed last draw, really.
Yeah, the North had to come sometime, and just unfortunately to the player who had one tile in hand. I'm not sure the 5-mon, whether or not the 5-mon was safer, but so in this situation, when 2 players tie, as far as Umax is concerned, they will share the Uma. And so first place earned 15, second place earned 5, but what we'll do is add those together, divide by 2. So Andre will earn 10 points of Uma, and Kevin will also earn 10 points of Uma. And then their other scores will be based off of the number of points above 30,000 that they got. So the scores you see here are not quite right.
That will be corrected. Okay.
Yes, it gets corrected automatically, and we should see that reflected in the scores when they update. And they have updated. All right. Well, I know this team will be playing some more. I know a group of A1 players have started.
Yeah, I think we can switch.
Cool. I know the A1 match is really important right now, so let me actually just take us right there. We'll fiddle around with the names and things in a second. Let's just get right into the action. I just automatically clicked on Korek's name even though he's not first dealer. Oh, we almost got there. Okay, so we're in.
Oh, we have a post in the chat saying that, Nathaniel, you might want to take a second to change and add your name to the commentator list.
Tucker was just here a little while ago, but
you are not Tucker, so
I am not. Yeah, let's put that in there.
Hey, we haven't missed too much of this A1 game. We are on East 2. Steve has deal right now with a possible Ipeko in the Sozu. Um, on the right, Korak has a pair of tone and some nice shapes. A pretty good looking hand, honestly. We already have a call across the way from Eric with the Shah, and a pair of Norse, perhaps just looking to make some more calls and have a quick Yakuhai hand. And on the left, kind of some awkward shapes, still need some work, though just filled in a shape in Pinzu.
And for a second, the game is going to freeze as I switch the names. Actually, let's watch this reach play out before I switch the names. So currently we have the A2 players on the right, but that will change presently.
And a reach, yeah, from
Korak just Ricci
Korak
only.
on 4-7.
I'm sure you would have preferred to have drawn the third and final East. So we can see one in the discards, but early reach, put the pressure on.
Yeah, you know, Korak, just hit the button.
The pressure is definitely going to make the other players have to think about what they want to do with their hand. Now, because it's an early reach, and your reach tell was the Dora 2-pin, it may indicate to the other players that it's not as strong of a hand as you might expect from a Ricci. We can see Eric doesn't necessarily believe that hand is very strong and calls a second time.
Yeah.
Tenpai, if you want to drop the 5-mon, it's not planning to do that.
It's not. But this puts Eric in a pretty dicey situation here because the 7-so is going to be the next thing that comes out. And there it is.
Yeah. So Korak with the win. Ricci Uda won. 2600. But, maybe as Eric was thinking, the value was not that big. It's only 2600 for the hit. It looks like Korak also won the first hand of the game and is now in first place with 37,000 points and a beautiful... Oh my goodness.
Ishan, Haipai.
I'm going to take this opportunity to switch some of these player names. Let's see, we've got Arthur. Who else is at this table? Steve. Uh-oh, we're going to have to switch back and look at the game right now.
Eric and Shu, I think.
Yes. I'll put those other two names, but we have to look at this Ricci. Korak did pair up the 7-pin and chose to declare Ricci on the Champon. Hatsu 7-pin for Ricci only currently. We'll see if this...
Yeah, but I think this early with... Yeah, I think this is a slam the button moment. I think that's a fine call.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense here. I mean, you could wait and hope to draw another, draw a Dora tile, but why not your dealer? You've got everyone's going to be afraid of you, except for maybe Eric on the right.
Just win and then draw a Dora on your next Haipai.
Eric had a chance to make Sanshoku here, but after drawing a Sozu tile he didn't like, chose to throw this away. Manzu definitely looks like the safe suit if you're trying to bail. The wall's tempting him, but does not accept. Wonder if Steve can actually find Tenpai. This is Ishan 10 for Chitoi, Dora 2, and that seems like it's worth pushing, but instead sort of half bails on the 9-so. Of course, it's Chitoi, so you can always work your way back into Tenpai later on. We see the first of the Hatsus. Hatsu from the wall has been drawn by Eric, and Eric is bailing, so unlikely to see that come out. Now, if Eric just drew into Itsu Dora 1, we might see it pushed. Across the table, that hand is 2 away from Tenpai, but again, not good tiles to push with.
The East draw.
相撲
Oh, and Korax Sumo's on the
Takame.
Hatsu for a Mangan.
Yeah, Richi, Tsumo, Hatsu, Udawan, and so 2 big things there. Drawing the Hatsu instead, making it one worth 1 more Han, and then finding an Uda. All of a sudden, that Richi Nomi turned into Mangan.
Yeah, that's a huge upgrade.
We'll take this opportunity to switch the last 2 names, which are Eric
ポン
and Shu. There we go.
Well, we see a ready-made Toy for Eric.
And now the standings are updated on the right. Oh wow, Eric's already Tenpai? Trouble for Korak. That Shun does not fit in, and you're not expecting Tenpai this soon, and it comes
there
out.
It is.
Toy Shun.
Just a nice pre-packaged Toy. Doesn't really get much nicer than that.
Yeah, of course, Sananko would be, nice. Just draw it yourself, but you don't pass a 5200, especially from the player who's in first. So
yeah, no.
5200 is pretty close to 8000
And
anyway.
then Eric's what kind of continues with a possible Dabuton here.
Pair of pocket easts, but we can see that that's Mochi Mochi with the pair of easts to the right.
It is. Yeah, I just saw that.
And I think, Eric is known for calling early, going Atozuke. If we see that happen, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that in this situation those easts ever come out of Shu's hand.
No, I mean, this looks like she was making Honitsu.
Honitsu, yep.
And in which case they will never come out of that hand. Oh my.
Well, it would be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, keeps drawing the Honor Tiles. Now an Akko of the Northwind. So advantage Shu here, 100%. And that is Honitsu in the Dora suit. We see 1 Dora across the table in Steve's hand with a 7-pin there in a shape already. And that hand is Ishan 10 with Diamond Weight for Richi Pink Dora 1. Here's Tenpai.
1
It is the 1-pin, 4-pin weight for Richi Pink Dora.
That's a good weight. I mean, a pair of the ones are already in Korak's hand, but pairs of ones could get discarded for various reasons. So
yeah, and we see too the 2 pins have already been discarded, so it's looking reasonably safe. Now Eric kind of showing his hand calls the 5-6-7 and the 7-8-9 shapes.
So needs the East and is not going to get it.
I mean, I guess if Shu thinks that Steve's hand is dangerous enough, might intentionally deal the East into Eric's hand, assuming that that's only worth 2,900.
I didn't consider that.
I think it's probably too early to be thinking about that type of thing, though. Especially because you have Eric's winning tile. Just let Eric deal into Steve. As it is, it kind of looks like Shu just wants to push their Mangan.
Yeah, definitely.
Wrong.
And deals into Steve.
No, it also just the 3,900.
Oh.
But that does have an impact on the standings. And now it's Steve who's in second place. Okay, this high pie looks kind of like Tanya for Shu. To the right, we see a couple pairs, but this just looks like your standard Richi hand with a Dora. Across the table, that could turn into Pinfu. It's a bit of a mess right now, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that's kind of a disaster hand.
The hand to the left looks interesting. 4 pairs?
If not, yeah, 4 pairs. If not for that 3-3-4, I would say potential Chanta, but
Good point. I didn't even think about Chanta. I was thinking maybe Toy Toy. Now 5th pair.
no, maybe Toy Toy or Chi Toy now.
Right.
If you were extremely greedy, Honitsu Toy
Right. Well,
Toy, but
now you've got a 7-pin, so you can drop the 4-mon. Instead, just drops the 1-pin for now.
okay, not deciding not to go for the Honitsu
And
here.
the 1-pin makes a lot of sense because you don't need to make Chitoy
No,
or
not
Honitsu.
anymore because you have a potential
1
just Ipeco
Yeah.
hand now.
You see a reach to the right. It is Steve who takes the Suji Trap 8-pin Kanchan weight for Richidora 2. End up drawing a bunch more in the Sozu. Actually, only one 8-pin left in the wall. Shu Ishan 10 for Tanyao. Dora 1. But really needs to draw that Dora indicator 3, so. We see Eric kind of bailing here.
Yeah.
Pseudo bailing
Though,
because you can find a way back to
he
Tempa.
could still right. That's
There's a word for this. We can say Eric and the Mawashi, right?
yep.
We see Shu's a little bit more concerned about the Pinzu than the Sozu here. Hanging on to that 1-pin, even though it doesn't quite fit the Tanyao. Of course, if you draw the 2-pin, then you've got Pinshu discarding the 7-mon. Oh, and here it is. So you fight here. It's Suji even. Or you can drop the Genbutsu 4-mon. That'd be a little bit safer, wouldn't it? It's Richi, Pinshu waiting on 3-6. 6 is safe. Probably even hesitated there thinking, do I even Richi this? Because the 6-So's Genbutsu could just...
Could just
Sumo.
get your next deal.
But when you just Sumo, then you're happy about declaring Richi. Richi, Sumo, Pinshu, Dora, and an Ura. So we see Ura is coming up big this game.
Oh, huge hand for Shu here.
Turns that into 12,000, 4,000 all. So Korak still in first, but has some competition now. It is Shu, second place, 36,000, and a dealer repeat.
And some honors here, but otherwise this hand is workable for Shu.
Yeah, Tanya potential, 3-4-5 Sanshoku potential. There's some reasonable options here. To the right, we have chance for Ipeko in the Manzu, and could just be a Tanya type hand as well. Across the table, that looks like Korak's got shapes. Maybe end up in Pifu here.
Shape.
And Adora. To the left, also kind of similar. You want to make Ipeko with a 5-6-7 in the Sozu. Grab a second Dora that way.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Shu's dropped 5 terminals and honors. Still has 4 left in
And
hand.
still has plenty left. Yeah, that's
Oh, there's the 10th.
a real impediment to your speed here.
Would have had all the wins and all the dragons. And a 1 and 2 9s.
Chi.
And realizing that, you're a bit behind in speed, chooses to call that immediately. So if you draw around the Dora 5, so you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, just shooting for 3-4-5 Sanshoku, technically still a possibility, though slightly distant.
The 6-0 kind of hurts those chances.
No, okay, not anymore, but
yeah, I knew you're
I think we
absolutely
can get-
thinking about that as you sort of progress your hand. And of course, Eric with that early call, that's that sort of speculative Tanyao call. But it's sort of making it work. Meanwhile, Korak's hand hasn't really progressed that much. As Eric finds Ishanten. Oh, does not take it. Wants to guarantee the Tanyao, and the 2-3 shape isn't quite doing that.
Yeah. Especially with 4 as the Dora indicator, one's already accounted for.
And the others are likely to be used in the hands. He would have ended up with a Hootington weight here if you'd gone for it. So you could have maybe tossed the north first, but instead chooses to keep a tile of safety and the floating 5-mon.
地位
Okay. Now keeps the 2 shapes in the Sozu, so it has 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, waiting for a 5 or 8 there. Oh, with another door draw. That's Tenpai waiting on the 4. So,
地位
and there's a 4 so sitting out in Steve's hand. I'm worried that that's going to come
wow.
out. He's thinking, not willing to drop it just yet, especially because dealer also has made a couple of tiny out type calls, so the 4 could be dangerous, and it's drawn. So it's a 3-6 weight.
3-6 pin.
And there's a 3-pin in Korak's hand that might not be sitting too well.
Steve's hand, nice looking hand, is suddenly pretty precarious.
Maybe Steve is saved by this 3-so draw. What would you drop instead? Maybe 2-mon, 4-mon, keep the Ipeko, Tanyao Pin Fusanshoku potentially?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense. I'm sure Korak is aware that there's probably players Tenpai at this very moment. Oh, it's Tenpai. Dama. For Tanyao Pinku
Yep.
Ipeko.
That is on the 2-5. So which most of them look to be accounted for already.
All the 5's gone, all the 2's gone. The remaining 2's being in Korak's hand, of course. And when I say
4
Eric
3
pushes
does
his
come out.
3 very interesting Tanyao hands, and it ends up being the dealer's win. So we will see a repeat. We should see a repeat any second now. I'm guessing it's a freeze on my end rather than someone sitting on the
the OK button.
yeah, right? So I'll go ahead and do a refresh. Okay, we'll swap dealer around. Right, this high pie.
Eric in third by about 7K. That's... He has last deal, though.
Oh yeah, Eric's 4th place here.
Has one Dora, nothing connected to it. Could call these Nors, though.
We'll see. Yeah, you don't want to settle for a cheap hand, but you might just need to grab any type of points and just move us forward again. As we can see, dealer has a pair of the Dora tiles, and so with that in mind, just calls for the Tanyao, aiming for Tanyao Dora 2 or 3.
That would be enough to get you into first, and
for sure. Oh, that 1 pin is not what you wanted to see. So we'll maybe have to work around this. We might see a 4-pin lead.
Eric in the third north does not have to call for this hand necessarily anymore.
Well, speaking of calls, Korak does not have value here and just wants this hand to end. So grabs the tune. Is Ishanta now waiting for 2-mon, a 5-mon, or a 9-pin? And now Eric's found a way to keep the 4-pin in hand. It'll be interesting to see if he declares Ricci on the with the Dora 2-so. Of course, hanging on to that for now too, just in case it can be used.
Korak gets the Kanchan fill for a Shabo weight.
And 9-pin looks really good here.
Oh yeah, with that, absolutely, with that 8-pin as an early discard.
We can also see all the 7-pin have been discarded, so 9 is completely walled off. It's just a matter of time before someone draws it. We might see the 2-pin cut here. Instead, just
I would have really expected the 2-pin.
you're thinking that you're gonna end up Dorotanki here.
相撲
Oh, just sumo, says Korak. Grabs the 300, 500. And with the Honma, that increases the value just a teeny bit. So keeps pushing that first place position forward as we move into South 2.
Steve needing some serious value here. And has Dora acceptance and a pretty okay looking hand.
Yeah, if you don't see the value forming, you could just call for Tanyao here. But I'm sure Steve will try to keep this close for as long as he can. To the right, the shapes are awkward here. And no Dora just yet. Across the table, you've got 2 pairs, 3 pairs, but one of them is the Haku. And interestingly, I think he passed on the first call here.
That's gonna be, you don't necessarily want to win a cheap hand in Eric's position, I suppose.
Yeah, you're right. And we'll hang on to that force, so there's a route to Honitsu here. But you'd of course expect the second Haku to come out eventually, so maybe just disguising it a little bit for now.
Yeah,
Again,
that makes sense.
Passing the north as well. Once you call the north, the game's up.
The game, yeah.
地
Steve with a second call. Now Ishan-ten for Tanyao only. But could grab the 3 so for Tanyao Dora 1.
That would be nice.
That's a good draw for Korak, but still 2 away from Tenpai. Oh, this is an awkward shape for
Very,
Shu.
very awkward.
I guess start with the 2. We can think about making 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku or 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku.
Yeah.
This is Tenpai.
1
Does declare the reach.
I think I would have started cutting that Manzu Penchana would have been burned here.
And this is 1, 2 Shampoo. 1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 5, yeah.
Now Steve doesn't have a lot to bail with, and so might just be forced into pushing here. And we see Eric just full bailing. North, north, Haku, Haku, Haku.
Yeah. Fair enough.
If you're not going to win this hand, maybe you just rely on Steve dealing in.
ポン
And Steve's in a pretty precarious position, so this does kind of make sense.
Now Tenpai for 3-6, so 2 of the 6s already in his own hand.
And the other 2 6s across the table, but
Feels in.
no Uda, so just 2,600. But that is Korak's direct competitor. So this actually puts Shu in first place as we move to South 3.
Already a potential for just Haku or maybe Haku Chanta for Korak.
Yeah, I think that early 1-pin call sort of signals the intentions here.
No con for flow for Korak.
Yeah, that would have been quite entertaining to see. But to the right, Eric's got a pair of South in hand and really good shape. Oh, that A-pin is perfect. So now Ishan-ten for a very strong hand. Does not want to call the South just yet. Wants to be able to declare Ricci on the South and then sumo it.
Yeah,
For Wangan.
If for anyone other than someone in a pretty far last, I would be confused by that, but in this case,
I mean, if you win 2,000 points here, you are kind of inching your way closer to Steve in third. But I really do think if we see a South come out,
1
it'll be passed. Instead, we see the Ricci, perfect for Eric, and both of the Southwoods are in the wall.
1
Oh, but a chase from Shu. This is Ricci only with 3 Dora. Ricci 3 Dora. Winning on 3-6 pin. Oh no.
That's a big.
This could be a backbreaker for Eric if he draws the 3-6. But also, Shu can't retain the Southwind. So, how many are left? 6 tiles for Shu? That's incredible, but it's Eric who wins, and this is going to be huge.
Wow.
Reach Sumo double South. And in Uda doesn't change this, but Bangan.
Mangan.
And Korak eats the brunt of that too.
That puts Steve in 4th. And I don't. What is his hand? That's not.
Oh,
That's
Sancho.
not a comeback hand.
Yeah, that's like
really.
Sancho Kuchanta. Or you need the door too, the door as well. But
Not with Eric. Not with Eric's hand.
Yeah.
With this tune call and a couple of completed. Oh, one completed shape.
or
And
even Shu's hand on the right is also callable for double South.
Oh, yep.
ポン
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
start.
we're going to see an aggressive
ポン
play from Shu to just end it.
Eric, of course, matching speed. And Steve, I presume, will aim for Sanshoku door 2. If you tsumo that hand, then you surpass Eric. Eric now just choosing which kanchan you want to keep. Besides, Tuso is more likely. We haven't really looked at... Oh, wrong choice.
Backfire, yeah.
Yeah. There was potential Huriten issues, I think, so that might have aided in that decision, but we haven't talked
Oh,
about
I get it. Yeah.
Korak's hand. And this is Ishanten for Tanyao Ipeko. Korak also aiming to surpass Shu and claim first place. The gap is 31. So this is Tempai. Do you reach?
You were hoping for the 2 there, but
Thinking. Dama is just Tanyao
Gee.
Ipeko 2600. But you could directly hit Shu that would pass. And now Eric with a good 3 so 4 so wait. But a lot of those are
Gee.
locked up in Shu's hand. Oh, 8
1
deals into Steve
ロン
for the Sanshoku
And
door
there it
2
is.
as called. And kind of unfortunately for Steve, the Korak did not declare Ricci earlier, and so
Wait,
does
is
not
that-
get the reach stick.
Is that 25 each for?
That is a tie, yes. So, interestingly, the -5 and -15 will get split between these two players, and so they will both finish at -15.
15. That's fun. We saw a tie for first, and now a tie for at the bottom half now as well.
And of course, Steve really wanted the sumo there, or really wanted Korak to declare Ricci one turn sooner, but this works too, and so minimizes damage. And I wonder how that will change our placements. Have they updated? They have not. Let's see.
That sends Eric below Huang.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Of course, things are still really tight here, but I'd better make sure that they haven't started their next game already.
Not yet.
Not
So
yet.
Quick break for me.
Yeah, it will be about 4 minutes before the next game starts, and so we'll wait for that to begin. In the meantime, I just want to take a closer look at the standings here. Let's see if we have the stat page. So, Steve in second place now, falling a little bit further away from Jeremy for that overall first place spot. And remember, of course, in A1, everyone is fighting to be, first of all, the top player. There is no promotion from A1, so rather, whoever claims the top spot in A1 will earn a seat in the championship game at the end of the year. And already Eric has a seat at that table. So right now it's Jeremy who is in position to claim the second seat. And Steve, of course, fighting there. Huang also with plus 92.7, close behind. And with one game remaining, there's a lot of A1 games to be played, actually. So a lot of shifting to happen before we see that final session. The other two players at this table, of course, are Korak, who is Arthur M. in 8th place right now, climbing up in the middle of the pack here. And then Shu, who is 10th currently. And that is the last positive score in these standings before we approach the demotion cutoff, which currently is Simon with negative 33.7, although Bishan is quite close. So out of all the divisions, A1 has the tightest range of scores for demotion. And you are not feeling comfortable if you are in Shu's position, or Max, or Arthur, or Dustin. That plus 30 could become negative 30 very quickly, especially in this division with such strong players. So you never know. You're definitely not comfortable in any of those seats. And I cannot wait to see what the seeded round looks like, where I believe it's 1, 4, 5, 8 playing each other.
Something like that.
And then so on and so forth. The rest of the table gets distributed in a similar fashion. There's a lot of, there are a lot of games to be played before we can determine what that will look like. But perhaps there will be a little bit of score gaming, like targeting certain players so that you finish in the seed that you want before that final round. I'm sure the main goal is, of course, to win, but we might see some tricky play in the future with that in mind. And it looks like we're almost ready to get into this game, so let me open that up. Okay, 1 minute to go. This will be the final table, or sorry, the final game at this table. Our first dealer will be Eric, who goes by the handle Fonso. To the right will be Korak, who's Arthur, in the standings that you can see on the right. Across the table is Shu, and to the left, Zelkin, is Steve, who is currently in second place. Michael, do you have any thoughts about being first dealer? I know some players like it, some players don't like it.
I tend not to like it because, and this is just superstition because obviously it's all random, but I don't feel like my first high pie in a game tends to be very good. But that's just my own, that's confirmation bias probably.
Yeah, of course. I'm kind of neutral to first dealer. If there's a dealership I really like, it's West. I like to be in the West seat at the beginning of the game. But that also is just because in a tournament I was playing in, I just had a string of really good West rounds. I would get to my second West dealership and just win Mongon, and all of a sudden be first. And it happened like 3 out of 4 Hanchan. And so I just started to really like the West seat. But of course that is not scientific either.
Yeah, I do feel like there's few better ways to become mildly superstitious than to become a Mahjong player.
Well, we see the game has started. Eric's our first dealer and has a lot of Sosu tiles, so we might see a Honitsu being built here, maybe even Chiritsu.
Home.
And that Poem of the Birds tells us all we need to know about where this hand is going. To the right, we see Korak starts with the pair of south, pair of west. South, of course, is the Yakuhai here, and that has a chance of becoming Honitsu in the Pinzu, especially because you don't really want that 1-2 Penchan.
Yeah, I think we're about to see 3 open hands here.
Home.
Drawing the pair of Chus confirms this. Across the table, Shu grabs the East Wind, and I should say...
It's just hoping for Tondora 1, it looks like.
Korak did have an alternate route. Could have taken the Chanta if the 3 Mon came out from Eric's hand. But after trying that 3-pin, it's straightforward into Honitsu here.
Chi.
And Shu dropping the 3-pin pair, also aiming for Honitsu. So we have a So Honitsu in front of us, Pin Honitsu to the right, Mon Honitsu across the table. And to the left, we have Steve, who is making Chitoy. Chitoy or Toy Toy or Swanko.
Yeah, some kind of toy.
Yeah, right? When you got a Toitsu-based hand, that's typically where it ends up. And now choice for Korak. Interestingly, chooses the south as the discard. That's the Yakuhai there.
Huh.
It's very curious. So normally
I'm
you drop
wondering about that
west,
play.
right?
Going for Itsu instead of...
That's a good
A-
point. Could be an Itsu.
Honitsu. Well, maybe not anymore. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure what Korak had in mind was that to his right is another Honitsu, and west is the Yakuhai for that player, and didn't want to assist that hand in progressing. And I think that was confirmed by the fact that he chose to keep the
No,
3 Mon.
That is smart. I did not consider that dropping west would be feeding Shu's hand.
And now Shu has the 3 of the 4 winning tiles, but has yet to just... Oh, that just gonna deal into Eric, who had Tempai,
It does.
and switched the weight to the 2-5. And so it's just Honitsu only, but that stops 2 other big hands. And so Eric will continue as dealer. We'll probably aim for Pinfu with a Dora here.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
There's some sort of backdoor Itsu, but it really looks like Pinfu.
Home.
And Korak,
Korak looks like he's going for Hatsudora 1.
right? 7 is going to be hard to pick up, though, as we see 1 is the indicator, 1 is in Eric's hand, and 1 is being used in Shu's hand.
And Steve perhaps just going for... Actually, Chanta Pei.
Yeah, you got the pay. Oh, wow, that's a great pickup, and you're going to add Chanta to that as well here, it looks like. So technically it's a little bit more efficient to keep the 9-pin, but
Chi.
you really would like to pair up a Yakuhai here and get a little bit more value. And so thought about that for perhaps a few seconds longer than you normally would, but ends up making the correct choice and grabs the Tempai. But Eric
is now Tenpai for 8-pin.
Yeah, and Eric declaring the reach, waiting 2-4, so for reach Pintora, as predicted. Not really a hand you want to deal into. 5,800 minimum. Surely not a con here. Against dealer reach.
No, the north is totally safe.
Right. He's thinking about it. That would increase the value of your own hand. Oh, does it? Oh!
Oh!
That is a surprise. Hey, Korak, do you drop the 2 here? You drop the 3, but not willing to drop the 2. Perhaps after that con, now you don't want to push anymore.
No one immediately making use of that new Dora.
That's an interesting way. Could have switched to the...
against the Shabo.
7-pin definitely does feel a little bit more dangerous. I think Steve is just going to continue to push. Oh, a little bit of a punish there.
相撲
Yeah, you have. Well, and it's sumo.
With that Uda, that
And-
makes that Mangan some.
An extra Uda for Eric there because of the con.
I didn't see if the con was what gave the Uda or not.
It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was. Oh my! So Steve actually really helped Eric out, and Eric with an early lead also has a good high pie. Can call the tune, and will be Ishanten afterwards. Who else looks good at this table? Cork has like a very standard hand. Just needs some
Cork's
better
hand
draws.
is a couple away.
Shu, probably the best, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's.
Let's see, 1, 2
That
away from
penchant
Shanghai.
needs filled, but
And you might even end up using that as your pair. Interesting hanging on to the north for now. The 6-pin isn't as much of a backfire because you had the 8, but I think you'd rather have the 5-6 shape than the 6-8. Although you could be thinking about Itsu, and I guess with that in mind,
ポン
maybe you would prefer to have the 6-8 here.
ポン
Flurry of calls. Steve grabbing the 2-pin on the left, aiming for Tanya Dora 2. And Eric calling the 9, so has Honitsu options, but not
if
forced
that
to.
3-mon comes out, that's great for Steve, but it does not because technically more efficient for Shu to keep the 3-mon there.
Now decision time for
Boom.
Eric. Does not grab Honitsu. Instead, just aims for the faster 1,000 point hand. Sorry, 1,500. Would be 2,100 if you sumo. I think that's a very interesting play from Eric because I think a lot of players would greed a little bit for more value there.
Yeah, I don't. I
Con.
guess 8-pin is looking. Oh. And there's a con. Does not help Eric. Potentially helps Shu.
チ
Yeah, 5 on Eudora. Even Steve doesn't mind that too much because he can accept a 5-mon. And it very
Eats.
much looks like Eric cannot. Ricci for Korak, aiming for the Dora 7, so and that is never leaving Steve's hand. So Korak with a dead hand here.
相撲
And it doesn't matter. It's just a 1,000 point donation as Eric finds the sumo. So with a con, that becomes 800 all, 2,400 point hand, plus the Homa, of course. And another high pie that I'd be pretty happy to see, except for the fact that there's that penchant. But you've got chance at 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. To the right, it is Korak who has an excess of honor tiles, but probably aiming for Pinfu, maybe 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku. Across the
Yeah.
table, also chance at 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku, and looks just to be Ricci otherwise. No Dora, and not even a Dora on the left, where Steve has Tanyao tiles, but would like to make more than just Tanyao.
Yeah, that's. Well, that 7 pickup is nice, but
Now this could maybe be Pinfu or Tanyao. You can incorporate a Dora this way, maybe even Itsu. There's some flexibility here. Oh, now even Ipeko is a possibility.
yeah, I think you keep that, of course. At 9, so it's not doing anything for you.
And we see Eric has been hanging on to the 7-mon, really hoping to get the Sanshoku. Now just commits to it. And I really like this
yeah.
play. It's technically a little bit less efficient in terms of just raw drawing power, but it gives you the ability to call now. And this hand's looking a little bit difficult to complete with the way the shapes are currently arranged.
Yeah.
So you might be forced to call in order to finish it, in which case, for that reason, I really like to play. And now you get Riichi
Each.
Sanshoku.
Oh, that's a nice pickup.
Now, Steve had also gotten a nice pickup filling in the 6-8 shape with a 7-mon drawn, but still Ishanten right now. Ooh. 2 pins still safe, and this is a very wide Ishanten now for Steve. Could even end up in Pinfu here. Will you take this reach? Does not. Tuso doesn't look that bad, actually.
Each.
Oh, and in fact, it comes right out from Korak, so that would have won. Korak now waiting on the west and the 4-pin for Riichi Dora 2. 4-pin, of course, being the Dora tile. Oh, but draws the
Don't.
6. And this is going to hurt. Riichi, Sanshoku, and will there be Ura? No, but that's still 77. And with the Riichi sticks in the Homba, this drops Korak all the way down to 14,000. And Eric with a huge lead. And also another great high pie.
Oh, yeah,
Encore.
that's a really dominant position to be in.
Speaking of good high pie, across the table, all
Eric.
those pairs for Shu calls the north immediately. And you draw the door and you're thinking, oh, I want to use this, but it doesn't fit my hand. I had a ready-made toy. Well, if you draw another one. And just think about this for a second. Because he called Pon from Eric, those 7-mon, Dora 7-mon, would have been Eric's draws. And imagine what Eric's hand would look like with a pair of 7-mon. Like, we'd be Suanko Ishanten for Suanko Dora 3.
Home.
Which, of course, the Dora 3 doesn't matter, but... As it is, it's another call for Shu as we aim for Toy Haku Dora 2. And if you get the third Dora, that would be Hanuman.
Yeah, that's plenty if you're in that position, I think.
Would move you over 30k and put you in second place. Now, we haven't talked about the other hands at the table because they look really tough to complete. And Eric has not drawn very well.
Chi.
So ends up calling this.
It's nice to call.
So just Tanya Dora 1 is the aim. Oh my goodness. Another situation where calling puts another door in Shu's hand.
Oh,
What is this double Suji trap?
It's like a bomb over in Shu's.
Oh, just draw it! Oh my goodness, this is incredible. So that's going to be 12,000.
Hanuman for Shu. That Eric's so far ahead that's only a distant second, but
wow. I mean, if Eric looks at the log and looks at how the hand got put together, it's just going to be amazed, as we are.
Yeah.
And of course, we should note for the viewers, in this hand, we see the same wind has been discarded as the first tile from all 4 players. However, there is no 4-wind abort.
Aborts.
So we will get to keep playing. And Korak is probably very happy with that because it has double tone chance, as well as could call the tune and aim for the word I'm looking for is Chanta.
Chanta, yeah, Chanta, some kind of double tone.
Now, the one problem is that you'd really love to grab the 1 pin, but 3 of those Dora are sitting in Shu's hand on the right. And then
yeah, so that could be potentially be double tone Chanta Dora Chun.
Yeah. Which would be Mangan. Now, if Shu can put this hand together, that would also be Mangan, but the shapes are a bit weak. So we need some really good draws. Across the table, there's an Anko 7-pin. That could be Tanyao. 7, so is a good draw. So getting a little bit closer to the left, Eric Mochi Mochi on the tune with Korak is kind of thinking about making Honitsu here.
That's certainly what it's looking like.
Another good draw for Steve. So that's Ishanten for Tanya.
Yeah, because of this
Chi.
Moshi Moshi, I'm thinking Steve might be able to pull through on this one.
Yeah, Korak's got to be wondering where my tiles are, where my honor tiles are. You can see one of the easts has been
Okay.
discarded, so that makes sense. Grabs the south. So that was in the wall. Doesn't yet know about the tune.
Potential, yeah. If Korak pulls another like a 7 or an 8 mon, may go for.
Might even call this. Doesn't matter. But you're gonna say you might even go for Honitsu as well.
Me to Chanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might go for it all.
I mean, if I had a chance to make a play like that, I would.
Yeah, Baimon, San Baimon, maybe if you're reaching.
But these two, the 7s are actually all dead now, so you can't.
If he drew it close, I'm certain he would have gone for it.
Yes.
The thing is, it's so tempting, this 2-3 shape, because it could incorporate the Dora.
Right.
And if you're looking at Eric's hand, you're thinking, okay, he's probably going for Honitsu here. Why hasn't the Dora come out yet? And well, the answer is he hasn't drawn it yet. Now he has, and there's the Tempai for Korak, waiting for the East. And
yeah,
the
there it
Shivan.
is. Okay, so still
really just waiting for that last East. Oh, and Eric drew it. Not willing to throw it just yet.
no, the South is safe. It's
Khan.
safer.
Con from Korak. It's a very strong position to be conning from. And Steve calls into Tempai as well. Tanya waiting on the 8-mon 6-pin. Oh, Eric's in a rough spot here. The new door is the 8, so no one has it. Well, now Steve's got it. It's now Tanya Dora 1.
Oh, yeah, Eric's in a bit of a dicey situation here.
You don't really want to drop Pinzu. And honors are just very bad with these calls.
Oh, well, that 9 is
Safe.
kind of a blessing to draw into.
You got to get one more draw. One more draw. What is it going to be? Oh, that 3 coming out. You're saved. I guess 3-mon is also pretty safe, but... Alright, we find Yukyoku, and Steve and Korak remain Tempai. So get another dealership, and Korak really needs these. It's only East 2, but already down to 12k. It was at 10k previously, 10.9. Before that, Yukyoku hit. And you're thinking, maybe I can make a Sanshoku here, but I really want to use that Dora 6-pin.
Yeah, well, we see a pretty fast hand on the left. Potentially. I mean, the other shapes need work still, but two potential calls.
Oh, you're talking about Steve's hand?
Chi.
Yeah, the Haku, the Chun across the table looks really strong.
You just call that, yeah.
Yeah, and you can even make Chanta too.
Possibly.
I mean, it's not like I guess the 2-4-6 Yankan is pretty strong if you want to, if the Chun comes out and you call it, or the Haku comes out and you call it.
Right.
But you could also just speculate on the Chanta there. Or I shouldn't say speculate, just commit. And that's exactly what he does. He even thinks about the possible Sanshoku as well. I guess whatever comes first, right?
Right.
Of course, Sanshoku is much farther away and will not happen now.
Chi.
Right, Eric opening up now, aiming for Tanya. Of course, you'd like that 7-pin if you draw a Dora, but it's not the biggest punishment in the world if you do draw a Dora because you have a 4 to accompany that tile. So, prefers to hang on to these honor tiles, safe honor tiles, while opening up. And we've seen Eric do that a couple times. I'm I'm going to be taking notes on this for my own games.
1
As it is, it's Shu who finds the Ricci on the right for Ricci only. Waiting at the 1 pin, 4 pin. And
That's
Don't.
bad news for Steve.
yeah, comes right out. Ricci
Yeah,
pots.
right out.
Uda. And that hurts. So Korak is not happy that he didn't get to win that hand, but also isn't too upset that the person who dealt in was his direct competition. And now it's kind of tight for 3rd and 4th. Although we're still only in East 3, so a lot of game left to be played.
We see some pretty ugly high pie for Eric and Korak here.
I suspect you are just dropping those honors and hoping to get something better to replace it with by the end of the first row.
Yes.
And for Eric, just keeps drawing honors, so it might even be thinking about Honitsu, except for the fact that you've got a Dora tile.
Steve's hand potentially coming together here.
Yeah, that 3, so it's a nice pickup.
Itsu chance.
We're on the same line of thought there. Oh, and just more honors for Eric. Is this going to be one of those hands where, you drop 10 unique honors and then think, hey, I could have had Kokshi. Okay, that's a better pickup. Korak, also kind of in the same boat. Hasn't really made much progress yet. So I wonder if Shu will be willing to open this hand for Tanya Dora 1.
And Steve dropping the 5 for a Ryankan.
So that improves that shape. The 4s will be your pair. You know you want to draw the 6 so it's just a matter of getting a 6-mon or 8-mon now.
1
And yeah, there we go. Shu finally getting something helpful from the left. Ishanta now for Tanya Dora 1, potentially Sanshoku as well.
Home.
Okay, forget the Sanshoku, just Tanya
Yeah,
Dora 1.
forget.
Of course, you'll grab
Doesn't need that anyway.
Tenpai as soon as you can. I mean, I guess that's the difference between 2,958. That's pretty significant, but it's not
And,
something you're willing to wait for.
Eric decides to start folding, it looks like, with Genboots to Shu. Oh,
相撲
Sumo.
Yeah, good play. And Steve actually had a chance to call for Tenpai there, chose not to do so, probably with the current position in mind. Points position, rather. So she will get another dealership. Oh, this one's kind of interesting. Up to 4 pairs, but they're Tanya pairs. Chance to make a normal hand too. I'm really curious to see how Shu plays this out.
Korak looks to have been given a potential Honitsu hand here. Which is to say 1 suit and then a bunch of...
Lonely honors.
Yeah.
Except for the pair of June.
There's a call for Shah for Eric. Whose hand looks to be pretty good, though gonna be difficult to make any kind of value out of that besides the Shah.
No, this is definitely a... I'm calling, we're going to move the dealer forward, we're not going to let Shu surpass me. Ishan 10 already for Eric. Oh, Tenpai. Okay, so 6-0 is the weight. And for Shu, now 5 pairs. So this definitely looks like a Chi-Toy hand, in which case the 6-0 might actually come out.
It might, because that's not a great tile to wait on.
You don't really want to drop it against the Honitsu to your left, but that might be, signal you to drop it sooner rather than later. Now with this 5
I would
want
to drop it. I would want to drop it sooner rather than later.
She had the
But the 5
opportunity
goes first.
to switch that out for maybe a normal hand, like go back to a Tanyao type hand, but instead commits to the maximum Chi-Toy efficiency.
Now it might come out. Nope, the East goes first.
相撲
And just draw it, huh? So Eric
Yeah, just draw.
grabs
Just sumo.
the one hand, Han hand. Move things along to Steve's dealership. This is only East 4. It feels like we've had A lot of rounds
This
happen.
does feel like it's been a long game already. East is Dora. We see no Easts
Yeah, this is the
anywhere.
East round, so anybody could use it. And oh my goodness, what is this hand from Eric? This is Ishanten already, but Suanko Nyanshanten. I think like if he were to draw into Tenpai, he would just take the reach. If it was like the 6-3-6 so that was drawn. But if you draw one of the 8s, you really have to think about whether you want to reach or not.
Mhm.
I guess in Eric's position, he doesn't need all of the points in the world, but
No, I think I don't go for the flashy hand here. There's the first Dora draw.
he just throws it
But-
right out.
You just can't really use it.
Yeah, if you're thinking Chitoi, then maybe. Oh, that's a nice pickup. Grabbing the last one mon does Steve, and that's Ishanten for Richi Nomi. Ishanten across the table for Korak as well for Richi Nomi. And we saw that pause on the 5, so that was not Steve thinking about whether he wanted bet or not. It was Eric thinking about
It
whether
was
the pawn was
Eric.
good.
Yeah.
It was a very slight pause. Eric has already, pretty much made up his mind how he wants this hand to complete. And like, talk about commitment. You could keep that 9 mon around and hope to draw a 7, but is fully aiming for this Tanyao, these Tanyao shapes to come together.
There's a Kanchan fill for Korak, who is now Ishan.
Yeah, chooses not to take the Richinomi and aiming for something a little bit better. It has 2 chances at Ipeco here.
1
We'll find the 3-6-9. Wait. Oh, Steve draws it and does not discard it yet. Eric had called it Tenpai. Now it goes for Tanyao Toy Toy. There is 1 5 so remaining and 1 8 mon.
ロン
Ah, but it finally comes out of Steve's hands. Reach Pinfu.
Ouch.
Not Takame there. So you don't get Tanyao. But that's exactly who Korak wanted to hit. And now
Exactly, yeah.
we finally reached the South round. Oh, that's 2 Dora. 5 pin in Eric's hand.
That hand is already looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you can easily make Tanyao here. To the right, Korak's got an awkward Pinzu shape.
We might see some aggressive play from Shu here, who might just want to shut Eric down.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. It's a little awkward. You've got 4 pairs, and they're not very good calling pairs. Oh my goodness. There's a third
Ooh,
Dora.
Wow.
ポン
This is Ishanten. So there's that aggressive play you noted. Calling the Haku. At this point, that could just be putting, making Shu vulnerable to what Eric's about to do.
1
Yeah, but you have no idea. Eric's discards just look like he's getting rid of junk.
Yeah. Well, there's a second call. So Ishanten for Shu. Eric just wants to draw, 6 so, 8 so, 3 mon. Or something touching one of the Anko. Alright, one would be good.
1
Oh, that's not the best one, but it's Tenpai. So Richi, Dora, 3, waiting on the 8 mon. 8 so.
8 so. Which doesn't... There's not enough information on the board for it to make it look so... deals into the
1,000 point Haku only hand.
Kanchan across the way.
Yeah, Shu, it just found Tenpai. Drawing the first five so, and then the second one came out of.
Okay, so these
Eric's
rounds
hand.
are speeding up a little bit in the second half.
At Korak's dealership, it is looking like a fairly normal push for Tanya or Pingfu.
Shu's hand he's got 2 Dora, but also a pair of West, so he's got to figure out what to do with these extra pairs.
But just draw more Dora.
Picks up a third. That's one way to handle that.
Yeah, so this is looking strong. Ricci Dora 2. Across the table, that's where the other 2 Wests are, and Steve is never going to... I'm not going to say never going to get it out of from Shu, but seems really unlikely at this point, so...
Yeah. Honestly, I see a case where Steve might end up dropping those West to try to make something else.
To the left, Eric's got a reasonable hand here. This looks fairly standard for Pingfu.
Oh, yeah, that's looking strong.
Maybe not Pingfu after this draw, as now you've got 2 Anko. So one of them is probably going to be your pair. And the other one's going to be a set. Dealer now Ishanta. But might not choose to aim for the Shampo
Also
weight here.
Ishan for a potential 8-mon West weight. And Steve does start dropping the Wests.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was thinking for Korak. If you draw something around that floater tile, then you could turn this into Pingfu. So the 1-so will come out. Still Ishan 10, but with a better hand. And as you predicted, Steve ends up dropping the West pair, but hasn't dropped the second one yet.
1
And there we are for 2-so, 5-so for Korak.
Ricci Pingfu. All the 5-so across the table in Steve's hand. Only 2 of the 2-so left in the wall.
Yeah, and there's those, those 5s just, they're just going to sit there. So that side is effectively shut out.
Tempai for Shu here. You could reach the 5-pin waiting on the 2-mon. Just Dama for now. Dama for Ipeko Dora 3.
That's a strong... I think I'd sit Dama on this hand as well.
It's interesting because the rest of the table will note that you pushed the 5-pin. So you've probably got a hand here. You could call for Toy Toy. Might that better? Does. Oh, but the 1 is not safe. Or sorry, the 1 has been discarded already, so you can't win on that. It's just a 6-pin weight, really. But it does increase the value to Toy Toy Dora 3. I guess it's the same value.
I don't...
But Sanako,
well, I was just... Wow.
So that's how you increase the value. You just draw it yourself.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't know if I like that 6-pin only weight, but there it is.
Oh my goodness. Well, that pushes Shu to first place. And now has a pair of
just
Dora.
takes was hoping to get out of 4th there, but takes a Oyakaburi.
Yeah, that actually really hurts Korak. Oh my goodness. I'm just kind of reeling over the decision making there to force a Hanemon.
Shu with a potential to get even more ahead here with a pair of Dora Hots in hand.
None of the Hots are in the other tile, other hands. So we could see an Anko drawn even. Currently, Yan Shantan.
No one else really has anything that looks like it.
Nothing
Steve decides to keep the Dora, itching for some points anywhere he can find them.
Korak also drew the 4th Dora, so we know where they all are now. And Korak, I feel like it might end up falling for the 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku Dora Tonki if an 8-so were to come out of Eric's hand. It's only 3,900, but it does put you in reasonable position, especially if you can hit Steve directly.
1
Yep, there we go.
There it is.
And Shu won't get it from Korak. Will you find it from Steve? Does Steve have something worth pushing? Atozuke now for Shu. Although the 6-7-7 shape, you might end up calling Pon before you call Chi. I guess
Yeah.
there's only 2 of the 5 so left, and 1 of the 8 so. And now you're thinking, maybe I can make Toy Toy out of this.
1
But Steve grabs Tepai, drops the Dora, and it gets called by Shu, so now Korak knows that this hand is not worth pushing anymore.
Yeah.
Is wishing that he could have found Tenpai 1 turn sooner. I mean, you
Yeah.
might end up having to push this anyway, because this is your direct competition who's Tenpai, and you don't want him to win this hand. It's a 3-6 pin weight, where the 3 pin would be Sanshoku, so Riichi Pinfu Sanshoku would be massive. But of course, you also don't want to deal into Shu, and perhaps your best chance at taking third is to just let Steve draw and discard until he deals in. Shu not Tenpai yet, though.
Pon
Just choose the same weight. Shabo, though. So any 3-pin, 6-pin that comes out will be double row. Although I don't think Korak or Eric will be dropping that. So it's a matter of who can get the last 6-pin. Or sorry, 3 so.
The
3-pin.
3-pin. Yes. Where is the last 3-pin? That's the only question here. And nowhere.
So the dead wall. It's locked up in the glass. Go again. Oh my, these hands have been just incredible.
Oh, these are well, Korax is salvageable. Actually, it's quite good. But and Eric has Chanta potential.
Sanshoku too.
Oh yeah. I think you do go for that play at this point.
The gap is now 12-9 between you and the dealer who is Ishan 10 for Chitoy. Dora 2. And if you're Shu, how willing are you to call for Toy Toy here? The West and the Bird and the 1-pin all look very callable.
If the 5-mon comes out, I start calling.
What about the 3
Obviously. Oh, not yet, I think, for me, but
Oh, well, just take Tenpai.
now,
1
yeah, now that's an obvious
And just
one.
insta reach. That's actually interesting. The 8-mon isn't looking extremely safe here, or like safe from you, right?
Gee.
It's on the line of the Dora.
Right.
Now Eric calls that, recognizing that the 8-mon could easily come out of Steve's hand, but instead, maybe just breaking Tenpai or Tenpai chances here. Breaking the Ippatsu is the word I was looking for. As he drops all 3 of the Haku. Now it would be funny if Shu drew a Dora. Setting up that Tsuji trap. There is one left in the wall. All 3 8-mon in the wall too.
Yeah.
No need to draw the door, just draw the
Things
way
are
you tell
looking
yourself.
pretty good for Shu here. I would not be surprised if we saw a big sumo.
Tenpai for Korak, and he's going to push this. Riichi, Pinfu, Tanyao, potential Ipeko, Dora 1. Oh, there's the first 8. Steve cannot drop this.
No.
It fits the
Doesn't
hand
come
too
out.
if he decides to push. Just thinking about what's safe against Korak's reach now. East is good. Should be good. Eric in an awkward position. Oh, Korak draws
there it
it.
is. And
Oh
Korak
my.
takes what could be Any Uda? No. Okay, just a dealer Mangan.
That hurts so much. Now Quark in the negative, and Shu all the way up to 70k. 72
That's
2.
insane.
I have to check the standings here. Shu, if the game were to end right now, would earn plus 15, plus 42, so plus 57. Would move Shu all the way up to 5th place if the game were to end right here. But the game's not over. We still have more East rounds to go, and Shu could just go on a dealer run. I mean, already on a dealer run, could just rack up the points. And Eric desperate to stop this train. I want off the Shu dealer train.
Just give me my plus 20.
Has the pair of South to call. Please, someone, drop the South. Now a slight upgrade here. Probably pausing here to think about the potential 5, 6, 7 Sun.
I'm imagining that everybody but Korak wants off Shu's wild ride here.
Right. And only not Korak because Korak's probably just hoping Steve deals into Shu. So
yeah.
Steve drops and we get another round. Instead, it's Eric who finds Tenpai first. Ricci Dora 1, waiting on the 1 Mon 4 Mon. No Pinfu, of course, because of the South pair. Would be 2600 barring any fancy things like Sumo or Uda or Haite, Hote, something like that. And Korak kind of forced to I want to say kind of forced to push here. If you can draw around that door, I think there's a lot of incentive to do so. Shu has some reasonably safe tiles like the 1 so, but did not discard it until just then, so not really fighting as hard for this hand as you might expect from somebody who needs points. Like right now, Shu is just comfortable letting Eric win this one, probably.
Sure, yeah.
Now, interesting, do you call this? Does not take the Ishanten. And, there's still a route to Tenpai here for Shu.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard.
I think if you get Tenpai, then maybe you fight.
I think at this point, I'm almost just hoping I don't have to take another round. I don't know. I suppose. Well,
you've done the work that you need to. You could successfully just no 10 and pass the dealership. There's also the mindset of I just want to fight for as many points as I can get out of this. This is my chance to fight for first.
I guess if there's some fills, I'll fight for this hand. But right now it's looking kind of slow and almost to the middle of the 3rd row.
Yeah, we're getting to the end. Is 8 so pushable here? It is not. Korak bails out of this. Only 2 winning tiles left in the wall. Oh no, 1 winning tile. Last 4, and that's drawn by Shu, so this hand is over.
Yeah, the West goes, right?
It's once cut, it was the first cut, and it's also 2. His wind.
Oh, the 2 is Suji, okay.
And yeah, unless there's one more really good draw from Shu, this seems like we're going to go to Yukioku with Eric being the only one Tenpai. Doesn't quite do it. So we do find Yukioku.
Okay, so the dealership passes, and we are all last. There's really no way for Steve to change his placement. Really, all he's hoping for is a Hanemon to grab the Homba and the stick. Will that put him above 30?
It will. Yeah, with the 500 in pocket plus the 1900. Oh wait, Haneman, dealer 18,000. Yeah, it'll be enough.
But I don't see how it happens with this hand.
Yeah, especially with Korak making that early call. Korak just trying to stop the bleeding, grab a few thousand points. And this was Korak's worst nightmare from his position in 8th place with plus 30. To finish negative here means you're losing at least 45. Looks like
Yeah.
minus 54 would drop him pretty close to that cutoff line for demotion. So we'll have one more round of games to play it out, but this was like the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, this is bad.
And you have
Steve
to
will
say,
just have to deal with not being very close to the championship anymore.
right.
Boom.
We saw a lot of these deal-ins were, while he was reach, so while he didn't have a choice.
Right.
And so a bit of misfortune there, as Shu also calls the Yakuhai, just trying to end this game. And Eric's hand is kind of getting there.
What are we putting together here for dealer? I'm not quite sure.
Ricci only. It is really awkward. Like step 1, build shapes. Step 2, improve those shapes. And so the Sosu shape actually filled out, which is quite good.
I think what you're hoping for is Ura-san.
Yeah, and with my Uda luck, I'm never that optimistic. So I'm just hoping for like Ricci, scare everybody away, dealer repeat. And now Ishan 10. This is actually a pretty wide Ishan 10, so this is come together.
I guess he just needs to repeat a couple of times.
But Korak
Jeez.
grabs Tenpai.
For 6-7, so.
Oh, that's Shu on the left with 6-7. And now Eric
yeah.
also
Sorry.
Tenpai. So it's 3 so, 6-7 so, and then Eric's got 3-6 mon for Pinhu only.
Chi.
Oh no. So Steve aiming for K10, but with so many players Tenpai,
Oh, I don't. That's a long shot.
it's going to be difficult for sure. Okay, switches the way to 6-9. That's actually kind of good for Steve because 6-9 is kind of light.
And Korak ends the game.
Very cheap way for Eric to end things here.
Just an agonizing 52-point hit. This is going to shake the standings up a bit.
Absolutely. Have they updated yet? I think we'll probably not yet. We'll see if this does the trick. Throw a refresh there. There they go. So Eric jumps right back up to second with that plus 20 second place. And in fourth is Shu, all the way from 10th to 4th even. Because Steve dropped as well, Shu's actually 0.2 points ahead with 81.2. That has to be one of the biggest jumps in A1 that I've seen in one match. And for Arthur, that drops down to 10th place. So swaps with Shu basically, but this time on the negative end, negative 90.7. So there's still a little bit of breathing room there, but definitely a tense position moving into the 6th and final session, especially given that the players below you haven't yet finished all their games. So they could even surpass you before then. And so we'll check out the schedule to see when those will be played. Okay, let's see here. It looks like there is one final game being played right now.
I think that at this point, I'm gonna have to tap out.
Well, you've been commentating for what, 4 hours has it been?
Yeah.
So I can certainly understand that. And yeah, that game has already started and is midway through. So we'd be jumping in midstream. Probably best to end things here. But I will say there were certainly some thrilling matches and just amazing hands, amazing high pie, especially in that
Yeah.
last set of games. There were just some ridiculous starting hands that actually panned out to these amazing finishes. And
Yeah, I think, well, what we didn't see here tonight was Mahjong by the book. I think we saw some interesting play.
it definitely were some decisions that were seeking value over efficiency. And sometimes it paid off, and sometimes it really paid off. We saw a few hands there that went extremely well for the value hunters. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of as we approach, in this session, in the final session. You need to fight for your position. You need to grab placement more than just, the UMA bonuses. So,
Well, we have a call for an encore, but I do think I'm tapped out.
yeah, unless we were to find a backup commentator, I think it is likely the end of the stream for us. But Michael, thank you so much for jumping in. I know we actually didn't have two commentators for this broadcast until Michael said, despite the headache earlier in the day, I think I can go for you. And we really appreciate it. Commentary is insightful and fun to listen to. So thank you so much for stepping in.
No problem. I'm learning, and I'm hopefully, improving a little bit as only the second time doing this, but
well, looking forward to the third and many more. And for
yes,
anybody
yes.
watching, if you are interested in learning more about the ARML, you can check out our website at americanricci.org. You can also look at past broadcasts. They all get uploaded to the YouTube channel, which is tinyurl.com/ARMLYT in all caps. Of course, you can find links to those by typing !home and !YT in the chat. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching tonight's broadcast of the American Ricci Mahjong League. This is Nathaniel with Michael, and also for Tucker, signing out. Thanks for watching.
Yep. Have a nice night, everybody.